following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
The Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio, a sparkling jewel filled tonight with 94,000 fans. And this one, between Washington and Ohio State, will be a helmet rattler. You can go ahead and penalize us, but you can't stop us from beating you. Jim Lambright, the new head coach of the Washington Huskies, who must watch the Rose Bowl for the next 2 years. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes of Ohio State, John Cooper in his 6th year. ABC Sports welcomes you to college football. A prime time special. The Huskies of Washington against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. With Dick Vermeil, I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you along with us on this Saturday night. Dick, you can just sense so much optimism in Columbus this year.
You really can, and I think there's good reason for optimism, Brett. I've been coming in here for 6 seasons now, and this is by far the best football team. More speed on defense. Danny Wilkerson, their defensive tackle, might be the best defensive lineman in the country. Their offensive line, Grigg, strong offensive tackles. Corey Stringer, their tackle, they say, is the best one maybe to ever play here at this age. I mean, reason for optimism. Now, I don't know if they're ready to beat a Husky team yet.
Well, you know the story about the Huskies, folks. On Pac-10 probation, can't play in the Rose Bowl for 2 years. What they want to do is run the table. Sit back on New Year's Day and say, we beat them all. We'll be right back.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love?
Who do you love?
Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Every day should...
The hottest selling T-shirt in the Great Northwest. The Pac-9. If you can't beat them, disqualifying. Turn around. Let me see the back of that. Roses? We don't need no stinking roses. 11-0. A team on a mission. Jim Lambright, the longtime assistant under Don James on the left. John Cooper trying to come out from under the pressure here in Columbus, Ohio. It has been suffocating for the first 5 years of his coaching career. The Huskies will kick it off. Travis Hansen. So the Buckeyes will go on the attack. Butler by Note, number 33, over on the left, is the quickest of their running backs. Number 83, well, he's one of their wide receivers. Terry Glenn, the 5'11 freshman. Underway in Columbus. It's Glenn deep in the end zone. He'll down it right there. Benote said, don't even think about it. We'll take the touchback. And so his second start for the Buckeyes, the sophomore quarterback, Bobby Hoyne, who went 13 of 22 against Rice and threw his first touchdown as the Ohio State starter. There are the backs. The fullback, Houston, will lead the way for Raymond Harris and several other tailbacks. Sanders, Joey Galloway back as the big play man. Cedric Saunders, number 85, their big tight end. Dick Vermeil, what do we expect from young Bobby Hoyne here tonight?
Well, you're going to look for him to get the ball in every way they can, get it in the hands of Joey Galloway to split in. They'd like to get it in his hands early.
That familiar basic I formation, the fullback lead. This time the fake, and they're going to throw on first down, and they get it to Galloway's hands. Over the middle, and Russell Harrison there defending for the Huskies.
See, right away, Washington starts up with 9 men on the line of scrimmage. They're up there, single coverage out there. They come with play action to freeze them right off the bat. You can see all the white jerseys crowded in there to defense the run. They run short token fake there, fire the slant pass. Galloway, an electrifying runner.
18 yards to the 38, and an Ohio State first down. The Huskies show 5 on the defensive front against this big offensive line. Raymond Harris powers through it. There's Andy Mason, number 13, in on this stop defensively for the Huskies. We mentioned this offensive line. Folks, 2 of the finest offensive tackles in the land. Alan Klein and Corey Springer. Springer only a sophomore at 310 pounds. Matched against this front 7. Number 75, DeMarco Farr, one of the best in the land. And the linebackers who frequently will step up to the line and add to the pressure. They'll show 6- and 7-man rushes. Coyne pulls out. The safety valve over here to Harris. Harris to the 45 at midfield. Harris to the 45, and Jones, the rover, bringing him down.
See, taking advantage of that pressure, Brent. They want to get the ball outside, make that defense run. Don't spend too much time running between tackles.
Wears 2 hats. He also is the defensive coordinator. There wasn't enough time when James stepped down to name a defensive coordinator. He has got a tough, long season ahead of him. Now Saunders, the tight end, goes to the left for the Buckeyes. Here's the toss now. Harris trying to get turned upfield. Harris powers, ball down on the ground, but it was whistled down. Lamar Lyons, the free safety, up defensively. Let me quickly finish the defense for you. We mentioned these linebackers who will step up into the gaps all night long. Lambright's pressure defense, there they are. Schmidt, Springstead, Butler, Mason. Andy Mason used to be a defensive end. Now he's a linebacker. And here Jones, Lyons, Hairston, and Reeser. They already have been forced to make too many stops to suit Lambright and the Husky coaching staff. But this is a very talented offensive line. At the Husky 40, Harris again. And that is DeMarco Farr, who tripped him up first.
Jim Lambright, the head coach and defensive coordinator, said he was really concerned about the size of the Ohio State backs. They punish people if they get through the line of scrimmage cleanly. The game plan is to try to get penetration and make them make a cut prior to getting to the line of scrimmage, so they're moving parallel rather than vertical upfield.
It is 3rd and 2, and Buster Tillman, number 12, a freshman wide receiver, brings the play in from Cooper's sideline. The slot receiver is off to Hoynes' right. It's Harris for the first down. Andy Mason on the stop.
Andy Mason made a nice tackle. A Husky defensive team, as we saw him a number of times last year, really do a good job of tackling. There may appear to be a hole, but it doesn't last very long. Those linebackers fill them. They have good speed. You see Hillary Butler getting in, taking on Cochran, the fullback. Another linebacker, Springstead, stuffing it right at the point. Good linebacking play.
First and 10 for the Bucks. The 7th play of the opening drive of the game. To the Huskies 35, they start. Pulling up a play fake to Harris. They're collapsing. He steps up against the pressure and throws complete to big Joey Galloway out of bounds.
You notice a lot of people all stacked in here stopping the run. See, now this play action fake freezes everybody up inside. See, everyone's playing a run. Now you have the one-on-one situation downfield. Wide receiver on corner. Now you see Harrison was beaten on the outside move. Joey Galloway. That's the 2nd time he's had the ball in his hands. They have 11 different ways to do it.
Coyne with 19 more yards starts out 3 of 3 for 49 yards. They pound with the fullback, Jeff Cothran, the senior. Donovan Schmidt hanging on.
Brent, that's a great example of what Jim Lambright was talking about. The backs do not go down on initial contact. You must stick them with more than one person, get the shoulder pads into them, bend the knees, and wrap the arms, or they keep going forward.
Isn't it strange to look at that Husky sideline and not see Don James standing over there in front of this team? Steve Hoffman checks in. Now it is Harris, and continues to run superbly before the free safety. Lamar Lyons can tackle him.
Great block by the fullback leading through there. Jeff Cochran leading through on an isolation. Now watch the fullback as he comes through on the linebacker at point of attack. Motion, get him moving, good block. Now watch the fullback. Boom, right, nice job. See, and he keeps his feet moving. Keeps him moving. First down.
An injured Buckeye, Corey Stringer. Their 300-pound sophomore tackle is down at the 15-yard line.
Corey Stringer. He had an injured ankle last week, Brent, and he played on it. Boy, they say this guy has more potential than any offensive lineman they've had here. Now, we're talking about the Jim Lachey's and that.
Watch in the middle of the screen, number 78. This will show you the ankle injury. You can see that a teammate blocks a Husky onto the back of the ankle, and Corey collapses.
He will be back. I think you'd have to tie him with a chain to the bench to stop him from coming back in. What they normally do is move Jack Thrush, the offensive center, from center position to the tackle position. He rotates to that position, and then they bring in a different center.
First and goal for the Bucks. Cochran leads for Harris. Harris steps for 6. Touchdown, Ohio State. First drive, the Buckeyes march 80 yards against this Husky defensive unit. Now Tim Williams, the 5th all-time leading scorer for the Buckeyes, to attempt the extra point. Dave Oss puts it down, and it's 7-0 Ohio State. But the Huskies have yet to answer with one Napoleon Kaufman. That's next.
Me and my nephew.
The season premiere of Roseanne,
Sorry about those teen years.
followed by the season premiere of Coach.
I want to have a baby.
2 great premieres Tuesday.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Delta Airlines, with 290 flights a week, nobody gives you more of Europe than Delta. Back in Columbus, Ohio, with Julie Moran and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. The Buckeyes score on their opening drive against Washington, and Williams kicks it to the Huskies. At the 14 is Napoleon Kaufman, slips the first would-be tackler. What a jitterbugger he is. 195 yards last week, their opening game against Stanford.
To run in from the 3-yard line like that cleanly, people have to get the job done. Now watch the tight end here, gets a nice seal block. The fullback here, Cochran, gets a kick out. On Monod, the guard gets the lead through. Good execution. Right down there in the intense area, not a lot of room. Boom, nice block by Monod, puts him in for the score.
Now sophomore Damon Huard at quarterback, number 7. And it is Kaufman getting the first call. Lorenzo Stiles, who replaced Steve Tovar as the middle backer for the Buckeyes, makes the first stop. Here is the young man who takes over. A lot of pressure on his shoulders here tonight. He did an excellent job with 3 touchdown passes against Stanford. Kaufman is there. Matt Jones, great blocker. Kralik is back after a 1-game suspension. Shelley and Mark Bruner. Bruner catching a couple of touchdown passes last week against the Cardinals. Here is Huard from a football family. His father, the coach at Puyallup. His brother, the quarterback there. Another brother, the 8th grade quarterback. Complete to Shelley, who plays in the Atlanta Braves organization also in the summertime. Tim Walton, the cornerback, bringing him down. Here's the Huskies offensive line, and it's a good one. Novell, the the center, and he is surrounded by a lot of talent. Lincoln Kennedy, of course, gone, but Peterson, Garcia, Gallagher were there, matched against a fine defense. Big Daddy. Big Daddy's number 72, Dan Wilkinson, surrounded by a host of stars. Now keep an eye on Matt Jones, the fullback here. He has checked in.
They're checking off.
And it's a toss to Kaufman on 3rd and 1. Kaufman gets the job done.
Good penetration up there by Timmy Walton, but he didn't make the tackle. To tackle Kaufman, you really have to bend your knees, widen your base, and maintain balance because he can go in so many different directions so quickly.
Now the backers, Williams, Lorenzo Stiles, the middleman for the Buckeyes, and Craig Powell, Walton, Nelson, Taylor, and Kerner. Chico Nelson switched from free to strong safety for Cooper this year. 1st and 10. Theron Hill is the motion receiver. And it's Kaufman again. Good hold provided by the middle of the offensive line that time for Napoleon.
Jeff Woodward, the offensive coordinator for Washington, Brent, says they want to establish the running game early in the game, but they want to run at the bubble in the defense, meaning they want to run at the offensive lineman that is not covered by a down lineman. And they will call a play and move it in the direction of that bubble when they run the football here early in the game.
Jones back in at fullback. Gets the carry. And he is wrapped up by Jason Simmons, number 91, the talented senior defensive end of the Bucks.
Jason Simmons didn't have a real good ball game last week. You know, he leads this team in school history, rather, in tackles for a loss. But last week he was trying to play a perfect game, and he just didn't turn it loose and play. And the coach's instructions this week said, hey, just turn it loose. Don't worry, just play hard.
Huskies need 3 yards on this 3rd down, their own 40-yard line. Play fake, tosses to the fullback Jones, who's an excellent receiver, and it's a 1st down.
Boy, I'll tell you, big Dan Wilkinson exploded off the ball, took the offensive line, that side of it, back into the quarterback. He just couldn't get there quick enough. Really did a nice job. To the left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see it. You'll see, look at Williams there, number 72. Look at him going there. 2 guys blocking him, but he can't get there quick enough.
Frank Garcia was holding up very strongly at strong guard that time. Now Hewitt straight back. Offensive line gives him time, and Jones bobbling it. Unusual for him.
Yeah, what did Matt Jones tell us last night, Brent? He says, 3 things I'm going to do Saturday night. 1, I'm going to block harder than I've ever blocked. 2, I'm going to run better than I've ever run. And 3, I'm going to catch the ball better than I ever caught the ball. Maybe a little bit too fired up for this one.
Well, Husky fans certainly know that if there is one criticism of this offense, they need to find a big play receiver like Mario Bailey on the outside. Now they're in that situation. 3 receivers to Huard's left. Quick drop, and he'll flare it to Kaufman. Incomplete, and now it is 3rd and 10.
Damon Huard hasn't started many football games. Last year he threw 5 passes the whole season. Now, of course, he completed all 5. Started out real well last week against Stanford. But these 3rd and long situations against the Buckeye defense are tough to convert.
Dick, how tough is it going to be for Lambright? He's got to talk to his defensive players over there. He faces a big play offensively here on 3rd and 10.
Well, he's relying a lot on the people in the press box, too, Brent. He's got defensive and offensive coaches up there helping him make decisions.
Huard flushed out of the pocket, takes off upfield, and Huskies are forced to punt. So they had been 2 for 2 on 3rd downs, but that time they covered his receivers, and Big Daddy, let's take a look.
Now here's the guy right here on your screen. He is 6'5", 300, great power, good acceleration, runs a 4.9 40, vertical jump 30 inches, 475-pound bench press, and he's only a sophomore.
John Wardell punting. Galloway is the return man. Another way they can get the ball into his hands. He fumbled! The Huskies pounce on it, I believe. Washington recovers Galloway's fumble.
He didn't get his body all the way underneath the punt. He misread it, and he ended up at the end reaching for the ball. You've got to take your pads and your hands to the ball and bring it to your body. He did not do that. And he is an excellent punt return man. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. The ball. Now watch him move forward. Now see him reaching out there. He should have been under that, more, just further underneath that ball.
David Reiner pouncing on the fumble.
Turning it over is bad, but turning it over in that area of the field is normally a disaster. Now, last year, the defensive team did a great job when the offense gave it away. They only gave it away 14 times. They only gave up 3 touchdowns. They're going to be tested right now.
At the Buckeye 15-yard line, Kaufman set very deep as the running back. Gets the hands off, runs into his own guard as the defensive line was pushing him right back.
Holy mackerel, did you see Dan Wilkinson that time? That big defensive lineman there came off the ball and just drilled him. He's coming from right here. Now watch him come off the ball. He's on the offensive guard. That ball moves, he's coming. They're going to have to block him with more than one person. So he just stuck him right back into the backfield.
Frank Garcia with his hands full against Big Daddy. And they hand it off to Kaufman on that quick hitter. He delayed a step and then took off, and they found a crease before Styles could make the stop. Well-executed play against that pressure up front.
Well, Washington likes to run the ball in when they get down in here. See, and they can make the first down before they go on in and score. They like to run it, Brent.
You know, we asked Big Daddy yesterday, what is it that you enjoy about playing football? And we'll get to that right after this play. Here is 3rd down for the Huskies. Huard complete for the score, and Kralik sliding into the end zone, and the ball was down. There is a penalty flag down.
Personal foul. You're just asking the offensive team to throw the slant patterns down inside the 20 when you play that far backed off with your corner, plus play them outside and soft. They're going to throw the slant.
Personal foul, hands in the face on the offense, 15 yards from the flag, repeat the down.
So the touchdown is called back, a costly mistake. Let's take a look at the end zone. We can pick it up here, Dick.
Number 65 offensive guard, the right side of your screen. You'll see him pass setting on Wilkinson now. See, and he's getting the, see that hand right there, brings it right there. See, you can see it right here. You can't do that. Yeah.
Ball at the 34-yard line. 3rd and 29. Huard being chased. Drops it off to Kaufman on the screen. Got around Walton and still going to the 20. And out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Taylor pushing him out. And here's what Big Daddy had to say about playing the defensive line for the Buckeyes.
Completely disrupting the whole offense. Playing in the backfield, really just, you know, having their coaches on the sideline, you know, fussing and, you know, just that stuff like that just tickles me.
Well, they've been fussing over there.
Yeah, and he does more than tickle him, I'll tell you that.
Another injured Ohio State player down on the field here. Taylor bending over. And, well, we've got an opportunity. Let's check in with John Saunders in our New York studios. John?
Brent, let's get you updated in the SEC. Georgia and Tennessee. Heath Schuler rolls to his right, throws back to his left to Corey Fleming. And then he does the work with the footwork, getting it to the end zone, 21 yards, 7-0. Meanwhile, also in the SEC, Florida's lead over Kentucky, 9-7. Terry Dean from 1 yard out, the difference right now. Brent.
All right, John. He's had a long day in there, Dick. Triple header here today on ABC. What a shocker that was. What a coaching job by Lou Holtz in Ann Arbor. And while we're waiting, let's check in with our Julie Moran. Julie?
Well, Brent, everything old is new again, including these Ohio State jerseys to help celebrate the 25th anniversary of their last national championship. The Buckeyes are wearing these replica jerseys of the 1968 team, and they certainly should look familiar to Washington defensive line coach Randy Hart. He was a 3-year letterman here, and he wore number 65 during that championship season. Brent, he told me the only problem he's had coming back here was convincing his players that he would not dot the I in Script, Ohio.
All right, Julie. Chico Nelson, the strong safety, shaken up.
Co-captain, you know, and he missed some time in the past, but he's been an outstanding football player for them, and they need him in this kind of football game. They need that experience, a 50-year senior at that strong safety position.
So the field goal for Travis Hansen. It'll be a 29-yard attempt. Eric Bjornsson, the backup quarterback and wide receiver, will put it down. And Hansen hammers it through. Ohio State leading, but Washington on the board. Both score with their first possession.
Recently,
we treat those trucks like we're going to buy each one. We build them like we're going to buy the next one coming off the line. We build a world-class truck. We care. We care what we ship. We care what people buy. Because if we didn't care, they'd never be back. I know what we build. I know when they buy a Chevy, they're buying a good truck.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Only the second night game of all time at Ohio Stadium here in Columbus, and tonight's overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, Captain Larry Chambers from Lighthouse Point, Florida. So Galloway, fumbling away the punt, gave the Huskies the opportunity they needed, but they were held to a field goal and had a touchdown call back. So they have made more mistakes here in the early going than the Buckeyes. 7-3, and Binotti again telling his young teammate just to kneel down, and Terry Glenn does. And now it'll be Bobby Hoyne come back against the Husky defense. Hoyne looking very efficient in that opening drive. Corey Stringer returns at right tackle. Number 78 was injured on the play prior to the touchdown by Raymond Harris.
What a great boost of confidence for this young sophomore quarterback, Bobby Hoying, to lead him to a touchdown, the opening series in the biggest game of his career. Of course, it's a very short career, but a very big game.
What a shot in the arm for John Cooper, the way he's been treated here in Columbus the last few years. Harris still in at tailback. And here's the toss to him. And he is stacked up beautifully by Hillary Butler, number 45.
Hillary really moved into that play nicely. Proper angle, inside out, didn't overrun the play. Then a good form tackle. You have to be in good body position to tackle these guys and knock them down. Big running backs at 225 pounds.
Chris Sanders, the wide receiver, and a one-time track star, checks into the Buckeye lineup. Coyne rolling to the left side, fires high to Galloway, and incomplete. Let's check in again with John Saunders. John?
Brent, there wasn't supposed to be a lot of fight left in the Fighting Irish. We'll tell that to the Michigan Wolverines today. This is Mike Miller, 56 yards on this punt return, as Notre Dame goes into Ann Arbor and wins it 27-23. You saw it earlier here today on ABC. Back to you, Brent.
Yeah, John, it could have been a lot worse, too, if the Irish had cashed in on those turnovers early in the third quarter. That's a very disappointing performance by the Wolverines. 3rd and 10 coming out from the 20 for the Buckeyes. Cothran, the fullback. Coyne again rolling to the left. Galloway on the ground. Incomplete.
Very good tight coverage by Reggie Reeser. You know, Brent, if you're going to allow a corner to play that tight on those kind of patterns, you better, it's going to be a long day. You've got to go deep on that kind of coverage.
Well, at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. And for the 23rd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Scott Chernoff from Hawaii, his daddy, attended school here. And he and his wife have flown in from the islands tonight to watch their son punt in this game against Washington.
Nice punt, too. He really got it up in the air. Good hang time.
Bino Bryant back after sitting out one game. Whoa! Bino is smacked by Randall Brown. Welcome back, Bino. So the Washington Huskies trailing 7-3. But they'll have the ball in pretty good field position. Beautiful night for football. You know, Washington had a streak of 13 consecutive victories against the Big Ten until last January's Rose Bowl when Michigan beat them 38-31. What a wild game that was. Napoleon Kaufman and Tyrone Wheatley dueling away in that one. Kaufman steps out of bounds with Walton. And let's go down to Julie Moran. Julie.
Thank you, Brent. I'm with President Gordon Gee. And in your opinion, President, is it healthy for the Pac-10 to have the kind of power it had in the Washington situation?
Well, I think it's imperative that the presidents control college athletics. As to what they did, I won't comment, but clearly I think it's important for us to make certain that we have clear control over athletic programs.
Gordon, you were under enormous pressure last year to fire John Cooper. You did not. Why?
Well, I was under enormous pressure by some people, but clearly I believe it's important to continue to be very supportive of our athletic program.
All right. Thanks, Gordon.
Julie, thank you very much. And one of the reasons he stays is he recruited players like Tim Walton. A pop he put on Kaufman there, huh, folks?
Yeah, and you know, watching the tapes of last week's game against Rice, he made about 3 spectacular hits. They were trying to run a screen down to the right side of your corner of your screen, a screen pass. Now, see, he looks downfield, turns and throws that. You see the offensive lineman coming out there, and he comes up and takes it on and spills it. Good job.
A 2-yard loss makes it 3rd and 6 from the 41 for Washington. Timeout by Damon Huard. And while we've got an opportunity, let's check in again with John in our New York studios. John?
Brent, it had been 6 years since Oklahoma knocked off a team from the top 5, but Texas A&M got beat today. Cale Gundy 8 yards to Corey Warren there. 44-14, beating them up badly. Meanwhile, in the SEC, Georgia has a field goal now. They still trail Tennessee 7-3. Schuler, though, quickly off to a good start. Brent.
John, interesting. Texas A&M lost, I believe it was 5 players suspended by the NCAA today. That had to play in effect, but the Sooners are a different kind of non-conference opponent than A&M has been scheduling over the years. I love the comment, Dick, by the A&M coach, Slocum. He said, I hope the fans who wanted us to play a tougher schedule remembered if I get beaten up there by Oklahoma. Well said.
Heward did an awfully nice job last week in the 3rd down situation in converting 8 of 16 3rd down conversions. That's tough to do. 50% against, you know, Stanford was supposed to be a pretty good football team, and they did a good job, and here they find themselves in that same situation now.
Eric Bjornsson checks into the game, Dick.
Eric was a wide receiver last year. He plays wide receiver and quarterback this year.
So we are left to wonder. Julie Moran will have to check if something went wrong with Damon Huard. Bjornsson on the roll, throwing incomplete. Kralik, the intended receiver there. Number 9, the senior flanker.
You know, he was rolling to his right, and he threw it wide to his right. When you're running with the football as a quarterback and throwing to a moving target, you don't lead him as much because you're moving with the target. You've got to be very conscious of that when you're trying to throw it accurately.
Yes, Huard seems fine over there on the sideline. John Wardell, the punter.
putting that ice on the back of his neck. He might have
maybe he's not.
Yeah, he might have a headache.
Yeah, Dick, I didn't notice that ice, and you did. Wardell with a high punt. Galloway going to let this one bounce on into the end zone, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Yeah, that ice pack over there is an ominous sign, isn't it, for a football player? So we'll get that checked out. 59-yard punt on into the end zone by Wardell. 94,000 here. Columbus, Ohio. What a great setting this is. It's a great day for the Big Ten. Even though Michigan got picked off, Penn State holding up against USC, and there's going to be a holding penalty here. Penn State's going to mean quite a bit to the Big Ten, Dick. You and I have talked about that.
Oh, no question. And you know, you take a program that's been successful all along and then add it to the likes of the Michigans and the Ohio States.
Against the receiving team, 10 yards from the 20-yard line. First down, Ohio State.
But and great credibility in the coach. They've never had any problems with the NCAA or anything like that. The only thing that might hurt is their recruiting a little bit, because the parents are used to driving around those East Coast schools and watching kids play, and it's a little harder to come into Minnesota and Indiana and Iowa.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes down.
They think it's going to help them.
So the ball goes back to the 10-yard line. It's a costly 10 yards here for Bobby Hoyne and the Buckeyes. They lead it 7-3. Butler by Node checks in at tailback. It's usually a special play when he comes in. He brings a little quickness to the dance off a play fake. Hoyne goes deep down the left sideline to Galloway, incomplete, and well covered by Reggie Reeser, and there's a penalty flag down.
Boy, he had him. He just didn't throw it far enough, or maybe not soon enough, but he had him deep. He actually had to slow down and come back for the ball. Now here you see how far he was. See him slowing down, and Reeser's catch, and he shoves him right there, hooks him right there with his hands. They call pass interference right there. Of course, the ball doesn't come out to there. It's just a 15 yards penalty.
Difference between the college rule and that in the National Football League. So Reeser, it certainly was an inadvertent foul, wasn't it? Trying to run through and get out of the ball.
You notice there was no free safety in the hole to help that coverage on the inside. Everybody is up inside. That's the Washington defense. They attack the run and force you to throw.
Coaches hate penalties like that. That really bails it out. Buckeyes with the ball up on the 25. Heward's still over there on the Washington sideline, calling a timeout and leading, and Bjornsson checking in at quarterback. Defense. And Minoti wrapped up by Jamal Fontaine, who was coming underneath, number 47.
He's a very good football player. Last week he had 4 sacks against Stanford. He only had 3 sacks all year last year. Did a good job of getting up underneath the blockers, good penetration, and that is how Washington likes to play defense. Have purple and white jerseys on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Julie, what'd you find out about Damon Huard?
Well, Brent, I talked to trainer Dennis Seeley, and he said he had a mild head ding on his quarterback keeper. They're holding him right now until he's not confused. He was talking on the phone upstairs. They're holding him at this point.
All right, Julie, thank you. And that's why Bjornsson checked in at quarterback. And Hoyne is sacked and down. That was David Kilpatrick, the rover, coming in on the blitz.
See, they had too many people rushing and not enough people blocking, especially on the play-action pass that takes a long time to develop. He couldn't get rid of the football. Good pass rush.
Well, tomorrow night, Super Sunday kicks off with a blast from everyone's past. Brady Mania, an hour of Brady Bunch nostalgia. Then the premiere of one of the new season's highlights. I know, Dick, you're not going to miss this. Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman. Can you believe that Lois is getting equal billing with Superman? What's going on in
Times
the world?
have changed.
Holy
Times have
cow.
changed, Coach Musburger.
Now it's Hoyne calling timeout.
You know, I said in the quarterback meeting the other day on Thursday, the kids are not in school here yet. They have 2 weeks to go before school starts. And listen to the quarterback coach, Ron Hudson, talk with him about the game plan. Real good coaching. And this Bobby Hoying is an outstanding student. He came here a national scholar out of high school.
Well, I want to tell you,
if the students were here, how many more would we get into the stadium?
We've only got 94, I think, on hand here tonight. I think the whole student body was at Victories last night.
Well, you were there. I know that. Pizza was good, too.
What a football city this is. But you let John Cooper lose just one time like tonight, and the Wolves will be out howling again. John underwent back surgery, Dick. I'm sure he told you about that. You know, he loves to play golf. He's a member at Muirfield Village Golf Club, and he's only been able to play 3 times in the last year. He can't wait to get back out on the links.
His problem is every time he loses a ball game, the fans say, Woody Hayes didn't play golf. You know?
6th year at Ohio State, and Jim Lambright, meanwhile, in his first year, took over when Don James quit in protest over the 2-year sanctions handed out by the Pac-10. Boy, I'll tell you, they slammed that program. When you read what went wrong with the Huskies, you're left kind of shaking your head, saying, where was the serious infraction? You're still looking for the smoking gun. That's tough. No Rose Bowl for 2 years. You thought they might have left it at 1. Nevertheless, here they are tonight against Ohio State, trailing 7-3. Hoying on a delay, handing off to the fullback, Jeff Cothran, and he is rattled with David Kilpatrick on the bottom. Well, they just gave Damon Huard a test over the headset over there, and he passed it. Got to put his helmet on.
They asked him how many fingers he had.
There's a penalty flag down at the 14-yard line.
Illegal motion on the offense. Declined. 4th down.
Brent, you mentioned Scott Turner, the punter. You know, he walks on here, didn't have a scholarship, has been around here for a long time. He's a junior, and he is the most pleasant surprise in the program. He saw an opportunity to punt the football. Everybody's going, and he worked on it and came back a much better punter.
Now, let's see what Bean O'Brien can do this time. And there was movement down there, and see if he used too much time or what the situation was.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Retreat down.
You know, we asked Bean O'Brien what it was like first game back after the 1-game suspension. Here's what he had to say.
I haven't played so long with palms, though. Sweaty, nervous. I feel like I use the bathroom all the time.
He's no longer nervous after that crack he took on that first punt return. Butterflies got knocked away. Turner puts one up high. And Vino with the fair catch. Taylor down there on coverage.
Fair catch, signal by number 11.
Now he's heading to the bathroom. I had a nice visit with him last night. He's really excited about being back. He's pretty bitter about the sanctions against his school and had some very interesting comments to make. He said, you know, Coach, we're sort of gathering a little document here that where all these guys, all our teammates went around and visited these other campuses, and some of the things that were said and done, he said, they aren't all on the up and up either. You know?
Damon Huard trots back onto the field for the Huskies. What a quarterback story he is. 3 years of eligibility at Washington. By then, his brother Brock, who's 6'5", he's the quarterback out at Puyallup. The father, Mike, is the coach. And another son, Luke, he's in the 8th grade. He's only 6'2". This could be a Huard dynasty with the Huskies. That's the time remaining here in the first quarter at Columbus. Johnson checks in. Now it's a toss to Kaufman. Jones leading the way behind Garcia, and that big defensive front stacking up that offensive line.
See, the defense did not allow the play to get turned upfield. They kept it moving parallel. You'll see here at the top of your screen, they're going to try to hook block the defensive people, and they can't get it done. Now watch the tight end, Mark Bruner, 85. He comes up there. He can't get it hooked. See, he can't get him hooked. He's thinking good leverage on the play. He stays there. Right at the end, he gets hooked, but by that time, he gets help.
So the Huskies offensive line with their hands full here tonight. Off a fake to Kaufman. Huard buys time, throws complete to Shelley. Russell Harrison defending Jason Shelley.
When a quarterback gets that kind of time off, off that kind of action. Of course, it takes a long time for a receiver to cross and get into the middle like that. But boy, is that tough, the defense in zone coverage, because those linebackers are swallowed up with that play action.
Well, they get 8 yards on that gain. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. At the end of the first quarter, Ohio State 7, Washington 3.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going and going.
Well, the Washington Huskies played in 3 straight Rose Bowls, winning 2 before losing. Now they'll be idle for the next 2. Here they are starting the second quarter in Columbus, Ohio against the Buckeyes, trailing 7-3. Damon Huard, the sophomore quarterback, at the controls. Running the option, the pitch to Kaufman. Jones leading the way. Jones takes Walton out, and Kaufman picks up 5 more with that downfield block by his fullback.
They jumped into an 8-man front defense late, but fortunately they had the option play, and then when he pitched it, they had the perimeter outnumbered out there. They had the ball in the running back's hands. Now watch the pitch. They face the pitch. Now see, they have a lead blocker, Matt Jones, 22, out there to clean it up. Good execution. Good execution.
13-yard run, giving the Huskies a 1st and 10 at the Buckeye 35-yard line. Napoleon Kaufman being replaced by Bino Bryant. He has been the workhorse. He gave quite a fiery pep talk prior to the Huskies' victory over Stanford last week. Huard straight back. Finds time, Jason Shelley again to the 28-yard line.
First quarter numbers, Dick. Well, you can see by looking at these numbers, it's very even. OSU, of course, the 7 first down, the 16, excuse me, as I look at this again, here we are. Rushing yards, very even. Pass yards, very even. But that's that first drive of the ballgame. They got the 6th first down. I don't know if they've made one since then, Brent. The 1 turnover gave Washington the field goal.
What a beautiful scene. Only the 2nd night game in history here. Columbus for the Buckeyes.
They moved Wilkinson over to the other side that time. That's the first time tonight we've seen him lined up on the defensive right side, and they ran at him. You know, you can go in the huddle, say we're going to run away from Wilkinson. Now all of a sudden Wilkinson's over on the other side. You find out, hey, they moved this guy. There he is. Tough to block that big fella.
They didn't keep Kaufman on the sideline long, did they? Big Daddy. 3rd and 2. Kaufman for the first down. Going to be close, and there is a penalty flag down.
Picked up by 56, Randall Brown.
Now definitely no first down. Cooper not hesitating. March it back.
John Cooper said this by far his best football team in more than just physical ways. Mentally, he said they're better. Their attitude is so good. Only 4 guys in the program did not stay here all summer and work in the program along with their summer job. Dick?
So they'll bring the ball back. I wanted to point out that we do not have a new helmet manufacturer. It's not the DJ company. The players are wearing that in honor of their longtime head coach, Don James. Third and 7. Huard under pressure, out of bounds.
Good pass rush there by Luke Fickle, number 99, the young redshirt freshman. They were concerned about the matchup on him, on the veteran offensive center, Jim Novell. He wants to throw it. Coverage takes it away. Here comes old Fickle coming around there. Forced him to throw it out of bounds.
They're going to set up for a long field goal attempt.
50-yarder.
Now Now Travis Hansen is on the field. Sometimes they have used Jason Crabb for extra long ones, but they're going to go ahead and see if Hansen, and now they're going to call timeout, and they bring the clock down.
They're going to think about that. Hansen's never made a 50-yard plus field goal. He's 8 for 14 inside the 40 to 49, but he has not made one from outside with only one attempt.
John Saunders, that was quite a game in Happy Valley between Penn State and USC today.
Exactly, Brent. It came down to the final seconds with 37 seconds left. Johnson to Johnny McWilliams within one. The two-point conversion, they say it was trapped. They wave it off, and Penn State holds on for the win. 21-20, the final there. Brent, back to you.
Yeah, that was wild and woolly. And next week, Penn State with its first road trip in the Big Ten. They'll go to Iowa City to play the Huskies, who had to hold on against Iowa State. You know, Dick, taking that penalty may have been just the necessary yardage to cost Washington this field goal.
Brent, you lose about 15% when you move on the others from the inside that 40 zone to on the 50, beyond the 50. That's how much you lose when you move it back into that other area. Inefficiency on an average.
Hansen made a 29-yarder earlier tonight. So here it comes. Bjornsson, the backup quarterback, will put it down. It'll be a 50-yard attempt.
He kicked a 54-yarder the other day that was wide and outside, but long enough.
And this one's no good. Ohio State ball when we come back. We'll have more action between Washington and Ohio State after this word from our ABC station.
Meet two detectives.
Tonight at 8:30 on Channel 2.
The first night game was played here on September 15th, 1985. Ohio State against the Pitt Panthers. Jimmy Carsados was the Buckeye quarterback that season, and their key wide receiver was Chris Carter. Buckeye defense did a good job. Carsados hit Carter in the last minute of the game. Bucks win it 10-7. And here they are leading 7-3 in the second one ever played. Think these fans enjoyed Michigan losing? Hoyne handing off to Harris. Harris finding daylight with Lamar Lyons holding on. That 13-yard burst gives the Bucks a first down.
Alan Klein, the big offensive left tackle, does a nice job of coming off right here. Then the fullback does a nice job of leading, and it forces the defense squeezes it, but he bounces outside. Now watch him bounce. Good lateral movement. Not great speed, but good enough to get outside and good power in running.
Harris, 8 carries, 39 yards, and the only touchdown in this ball game. Cothran's the fullback in front of him. Cothran getting a carry, and the Huskies were ready. Fontaine was all over him. And also Butler was in on the stop.
They like to penetrate, and if you let them get that gap and you don't come off the ball properly as an offensive lineman protecting those gaps, you're in trouble. That's what happened then. You can see the possessions here. The only real productive one is the first one in the ball game. 10 plays and touchdown. The rest of the time, Husky defense playing tough.
3-yard loss on that play. The Husky defense usually comes up with a lot of negative yardage on offensive plays with all that penetration, the way they stack the front. This time they pull out. Rush 4. Hoyne scrambles up the middle and slides safely across midfield. Speaking of sliding, let's take a look at the baseball scoreboard. Toronto, after that losing streak, starting to get with it. 9-5. They beat the Angels again. And St. Louis beating the Giants. Here come the Braves. Tra-la-la-la. Baltimore in the 6th over Oakland 3-0. And the Orioles might get it done also in the East. There are the Yankees. Bottom of the 3rd, 5-2. We have kidnapped their director tonight, Bill Webb. Kim Belt is the producer down there calling the shots.
Coming after him.
Throws it up for grabs down the sideline, out of bounds.
They did not pick up the linebacker blitz up inside properly. Turned Hillary Butler loose on him. He couldn't set up and throw. They brought the heat from the linebackers inside. Now you'll see him come. See, here he comes. Now they got to switch it off. See, and Minot didn't get switched off, number 77. Possibly the defensive lineman grabbed it and held on to him so he couldn't come off and get that linebacker.
So turn up his third punt of the game. And Bino, who is standing at the Husky 10-yard line. Time runs out again. This one they wanted to back up, trying to keep it from punting into the end zone.
Game on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Would like to bury Washington down around the 10 or the 5-yard line if they can, so they want to back this one up a little bit. 11-13 to go here in the first half. Bucks leading the Huskies 7-3. In case you missed it earlier, Notre Dame under Lou Holtz, you would never know he was embattled or distracted this week. The job that coaching staff and those players did today. They carried Holtz off the field on the shoulders of the players.
Nice punt.
Bino, fair catching. It goes into the end zone. Too nice is right. It comes out on the 20. That's a 55-yard pop. 7-3. They're happy in Columbus. 94,000 on hand in Ohio Stadium, and folks, they can really feel safe. Every one of them are being watched over by these alert security guards. That's it. They volunteered for this duty. And so now Washington comes out with Bean O'Brien getting his first carry from scrimmage here of the season.
Stop made by 91.
Got about 3 yards. That'll leave Washington with a 2nd and 8. So Don James, I hope he enjoyed his round of golf earlier today and sitting back, relaxed with his wife. He certainly deserves a little time off after the great job he did with that football program out in Seattle. We're going to miss him, but it's nice to know he's got such a good coaching staff carrying on here. Now Bjornsson, who's in for his 2nd time, deflected, so Damon Huard must still be a bit shaken up. Janoski, the intended receiver. James, I understand, is doing a radio show, a call-in show back in Seattle. That'll probably be very popular.
Janoski is very much like Joe Crawley, the senior wide receiver. Janoski, a redshirt freshman, a little faster maybe than Crawley. Right in the seam, that's a catchable ball. You got to make that play in big games.
Well, it's 3rd and 7. Bjornsson fires to a diving wide receiver, and it's incomplete. Janoski, the freshman, was the intended target that time.
You'd sure like him to find that chain depth-wise, so when he dives for the ball or moving to the sideline, he's moving for the first down as well. A little bit short.
John Wardell punting again. This is a great performance so far by this Buckeye defense, especially that front line.
Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, has an awfully good game plan. Doesn't vary his defense as much from week to week. Just trying to maintain good discipline and good fundamental technique.
Remember, it was a fumble on a punt return that set up the Huskies' field goal. This time, Galloway fields it, dances, and crosses the 30 to the 31-yard line. 9:35 left in the first half. Bucks lead at 7-3 over the Huskies. Well, former Ohio State coach Earl Bruce has returned from Colorado State. He's doing a radio show here, call-in show, and the caller phoned up Earl last night and said, "Earl, what about the Buckeye band?" Here's what he had to say.
I'd like to be in the band. I love Ohio State's marching band, and they do a great job of performing. But I wonder if they took the other band and said, okay, shove those tuba down their throat. Now the band isn't going to play very well if you think someone's going to hit them and knock them down. And that's the problem with us. We don't know how the other team's going to respond.
Oh, yeah. He's all football coach, folks. He rattled a few helmets out there in Fort Collins, didn't he? Oh, he's still got it on the keeper. Got to go for the whole bundle. Oh, beautiful play by Reeser.
Nice defense. Reeser, 2 times now they've gone after him deep. He's up in a bump and run position, proving he can run. He was on the conference championship 400-meter relay team. You can see why he can run. See, good position now. Again, that ball, you got to pull it away and out in front of that receiver to allow him to run. Good technique, going up for the ball at its highest point, not interfering with the receiver. Excellent job of playing corner.
Dick, that was speed on speed. Chris Sanders, the receiver, led Ohio State to 2 track championships. The indoor long jump champion, 26 feet 9 3/4. No wonder he was beaten by a step. Now it's Hoyne and the Bucks again. And Hoyne coming back, firing down the right side. Norris fullback who slipped out of the backfield. Jeff Cothran, great play for the Bucks.
See, the quarterback started to sprint one way to pull the defense in that direction. You'll see what I'm talking about. The quarterback will come out and set up. Now the fullback here will come out the backside, trying to disguise the release from the backfield. Hard to find. See, the linebacker's supposed to pick him up. The rollout action pulled the defense. Now they throw it back. I believe Andy Mason, 13, was supposed to pick him up.
26-yard gain for the Bucks. They move inside the Washington 45. And they come pounding back with big Raymond Harris. The workhorse in that backfield, wrapped up by Steve Springstead, an inside linebacker.
You heard us in the pregame talking about 2 fine offensive tackles. Again, Alan Klein doing a good job at the left tackle position right here. See, he gets the hood block. There's no one here because he's out here playing pass defense. That allows that soft corner. If he was in tighter, they would go ahead and throw the ball. See, he got out there. There's no one to attack the run.
Dick, that offensive line is holding up. Klein, Winrow, Thrush, Mono, Stringer doing a job here, and they're giving Bobby Hoyne time, and his confidence is starting to pick up here. Here's the toss now, and good defense that time by the Huskies. Fontaine, what a game he's turned in, and Andy Mason was there too.
Many plays are defense from the backside, and they're hard to cut off quick people. You'll see Stringer here. See, he's going to try to cut off the defender to his inside, see, and he gets underneath him. DeMarco Farr. Here comes Jamal Fontaine. Down from the backside. Those are tough blocks.
2-yard loss. Leaves the Bucks in 3rd and 3. Guess what formation we're going to see here, folks? Just call this the Woody. They made a living off of this.
They're coming after it.
Fullback lead. Harris slips it. Got his way to the 35-yard line. That's not going to be enough for a first down. Josh Moore coming across from the cornerback spot. Number 7 doing a good job. And also Springstead was in on it.
They ran the blitz right up inside. It almost hit him right on. Malloy, the safety, free safety, came in and nailed it. I think you got to go ahead and punt this football. They're going for, that's a long 2.5 yards. A lot of guts.
Well, Dick, if they punt and they punt it on into the end zone, it would only be a 15-yard punt. But here comes John Cooper. He thinks he can pick it up. 4th down. Hoyne going to roll. He's going to throw for it, and he's got it. Galloway to the end zone. A 4th down touchdown. Joey Galloway missed all of last year. He blew out his knee, an anterior cruciate ligament. He had to work his heart off to get back into this lineup. He hasn't lost much of his speed. Everybody knows what a damaging injury that is when you blow that ligament out. And here he is back making big plays. He scored in a 48-yarder last week. Now a 35-yarder on 4th and 2. And Timmy Williams makes it 14-3. Could the Buckeyes be back? We'll find out. Regional lineup on ABC next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. Now, if you want to see another game that's not on in your area, call your cable operator. Get those cable operators on the ball. Some of you folks letting me know that they're not doing a job. They got to answer those phones and hook you up on those other games. Let's go. Folks want to see them all. Next week, 3:30, Saturday, ABC. Hey, Galloway with a great play, huh, Dick?
It was, and what a great call by the offensive coordinator and a guts call by the coach.
Bobbled in the end zone. Kaufman will kneel it down. He's there with Bino. They'll bring it out to the 20. Let's take another look at Galloway.
There were a lot of things of important in this play. First, the coach had guts to call it, but the key block by the fullback as the quarterback sprints out is critical right here. You'll see Cothran come out. Now watch him cut the defender down. Bang, that gives him the throwing lane. He throws it in there. They're playing zone over there in this 4th down coverage. Not maybe to throw the football in that situation. A guts decision by Cooper. A guts decision by Cooper. Then a very good call by Hollis, the coordinator. Get the quarterback outside away from the rush, then throwing it and putting it in the hands of the right guy.
1st and 10. Damon Huard back in, hands off to Kaufman. Let's send you to John Saunders in New York, John.
Brent will get you updated in the SEC, Georgia and Tennessee. Heath Schuler lobs it to the corner of the end zone. Corey Fleming, his 2nd touchdown catch of the day. They're now at halftime. Tennessee leads it 21-6. Meanwhile, Kentucky leads Florida. Part of the reason Terry Dean has thrown 4 interceptions, 4 of the 5 the Gators have tossed. Brent.
All right, John. Heath Schuler developing into one of the better quarterbacks in the country. What a job he's doing down there for the Volunteers. Huard drops this off to Kaufman, and Kaufman slips a tackle, beats another one, and gets to the outside. Picks up the Washington 1st down. Napoleon Kaufman's one of the most dangerous weapons in college football, folks. When you're thinking about Heisman Trophy candidates, let's not overlook this junior. He is like a jitterbug out there.
Last week, 195 yards and 24 carries. And see, that was a poor throw. He had to leap and get his body in position to make the catch. Then he came down, the screen formed out there. He regained his balance and goes ahead and moves it upfield. Tough play to make, catching a ball thrown like that.
Huard and the Huskies trying to get something going here before the intermission. They trail it 14-3. Big touchdown would get him right back in it. Now it's Huard back over the middle, incomplete, and his tight end, Big Mark Bruner, who beat up that Cardinal defense last week, is popped by Chico Nelson, who hurt a hand a little bit.
Nelson was hurt earlier in the ball game, but Wilkinson got in there and got good pressure, and the tight end, he went down in the zone of the defense to the left-hand side of your screen. Now you'll see Mark Bruner, 85, see him release? He's coming right down the zone, the heart of the defense. Boom, now Chico Nelson comes in and wham, racks him. But he ends up
hit him a little high, didn't he?
The sore hand.
Got him up in the hat a little bit. That's Chico. He's a good hitter back there. 16-yard gain. 1st down now for Huard, trying to drive the Huskies. Hands off to Kaufman. Hole is stacked up by Big Daddy. What a load he is. How'd you like to block on him all night?
You know, John Cooper said the only way we can win this football game is Wilkinson and our other great players have to go to the next level. He has to dominate the line of scrimmage, and right now he's doing an awfully good job.
One of these days he'll be driving one of those Mercedes and playing on Sundays.
Just as long as he's not doing it as a sophomore, it's okay.
4-yard loss, 2nd and 14 now. Big Daddy ends back down in that defensive front. Here they come again. Oh, complete. But the blow on Thomas is delivered by Mark Williams.
Mark Williams is, again, one of those 3 linebackers with experience, a 5th-year senior, and can really run. See, and that ball's out there. There's a lot of green grass, and all of a sudden, bang, he's there quickly and makes the play.
Coach Lambright looking for the right play in the series to get the Huskies right back in this one. Trailing the Bucks 14-3. The entire city of Columbus starting to believe a little bit that it's a long way to go. Heward, blitz is picked up, fires, and it's incomplete. Let's go down now to Julie Moran. Julie.
Well, Brent, the crowd is going wild here, but I'm with a member of the first national championship team here in 42, but no stranger to Husky fans, Tommy James, brother of Don James, and this is really a game of mixed emotions for you. You're sitting on the Husky side for the first time.
That's right, Julie. I've got mixed emotions, but I figured this Husky team was my brother's team, so I'm sort of leaning towards the Buckeyes. My Buckeye fans and friends, they'll probably kill me for this, but I still got to root for the Huskies this game.
Were you surprised when Don resigned?
I was surprised, although Brother Don called me before it broke into the news, and he wanted the family know, and of course me first, what he was going to resign. And we all felt bad about it.
Did you talk to Don today?
No, I talked to my sister-in-law, Carol. I talked to Don last Thursday.
Well, I know he's watching. Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
Don, I wish you was here.
All right, back up to you, Brent.
All right, Julie, a nice moment. I was unaware of his brother's involvement here, and it was really nice to see him at the game.
I got to visit with him at the hotel, but you notice his division in loyalty. He combined Buckeye and Husky. He said Buskies.
They were born in Massillon.
Yes.
That's a cradle of some great football players who come out of there.
Just a few.
Well, the Bucks now trying to come out with 4:30 to go. They're buried down inside their 5-yard line. Play fake. Hoyne's going to throw it. He's already got a touchdown on 4th down. He wants the bundle again. Boy, what a great fake it was by Hoyne.
This is an example of the confidence that the coaches have and the players have. And Brent, you know, first down, you've got a lead. You're first down here right before the half on the 5-yard line. You're coming with a strong play fake, hiding that ball. He's laying it up there deep. He's got all the time in the world. No one's rushing the passer. But I think it's a display of confidence that they're here and we've arrived and we're playing to win this football game.
Woody Hayes wouldn't have called that play. 2nd and 10. Now they come back with Harris. Hole in the middle. Reeser finally slowed him up enough for his teammates to get there, but Harris plows for the first down.
Watch the offensive left side of the line right now. Good picket running by the running back, lead blocking by the fullback. But see, the offensive line here is coming off real good right now. Then it's cleanup time for the fullback. See, boom, boom, they're coming off. Kick out, lead up right in there by Monod, number 77. There's the point of attack clean.
Now it's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
See, they got 9 people up there to stop the run.
Bobby Hoyne, just a sophomore. He's backed up by a transfer from Arizona State. Brett Powers, a senior. We'll probably see him.
That's Joe Hollis, the offensive coordinator, talking with him.
Wednesday night, it's what everybody's been waiting for. First, a special home improvement, then an all-new episode of the new comedy Thea. I hear that's a good show, followed by the season premiere of Home Improvement and the premiere of Moon Over Miami. Wednesday night on ABC. Don't miss it. Starting at 8, 7 Central. Well, coming up at halftime, our man in New York, John Saunders, he'll have it all. Scores and highlights. Going to examine also the controversial question of whether college football players should be paid. What do you think about that, Dick Vermeil?
I think they should get a stipend. Yes, I do. Like $100 a month, something like that, along with the scholarship. They can't work, Brent.
I think it was back in the 60s. What they get, about $15, $20 a month?
$15 a month. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what some of the experts on that issue and some of the players themselves have got to say coming up at halftime. What a job by Florida State. How far has that program fallen at Clemson? Alabama, but Vanderbilt made them work for it. David Palmer, I understand, had a huge game in that. John will probably tell you about it at halftime. And there's the big shocker. Michigan was favored by 9.5. Now it's Harris and the Buckeyes. want to tell you, Andy Mason got him first. Reeser comes in. Reeser's all over the place back there in that secondary, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's done a great job in coverage, and he just shows he's physical enough to come up and make the play.
Game 2 on the 18.
Last week, huh?
35 total yards rushing. The Buckeyes got more than that right now.
3:20 to go in the first half. 14-3 Ohio State over Washington. Coyne throws it up on the right side. Incomplete. And it was Joey Galloway, the intended target. Josh Moore there.
They're forcing him to throw the football, Brent. They have 9 guys stacked in there with that kind of a formation. One guy out there playing pass defense in a one-on-one situation. Coyne threw it at the right place. Outside, away from the defender, just a little too far. They have 1 timeout. Each team has 1 timeout left.
Well, it's the thing that the Buckeyes have needed the last few years. It's more of a sophisticated passing game. You can't line up anymore in college football and make a living off the off-tackle play. It just won't happen. The defensive people are too big, too quick, all over the place. The defenses are too aggressive. They took a page out of Buddy Ryan's old playbook from the Bears. They're all over you. You got to have a passing game to win now in college football.
Substitution infraction on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
And it helps to have an extra wide receiver.
Substitution infraction.
Well, continuing a tradition that began in 1960 at the Orange Bowl. Tonight's overhead shots, and aren't they beautiful? From the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida. Nothing better than a stadium at night. Be it baseball, football, tennis, doesn't make any difference, does it, folks?
You know, now that you're coaching and making all these great evaluations of how teams ought to be offensively, I think right now is a pretty good time to be conservative. You got a 14-3 lead right here.
Throw it. 12. Up for this. Here's Harris doing what the coach wanted him to do. He's always right, folks, and I'm wrong. Springstead took him down.
You can see how strong and physical these running backs are. They just do not go down on first contact.
Tackled by 49, Steve Springstead, and 52.
Boy, the punters are having a good day. Turner for Ohio State, 3 punts, 46.3 average. Wardell, University of Washington, 48-yard average. Punting game and good defense.
Bean O'Brien back to return Scott Turner's punt.
Dean O'Brien has returned 4 touchdowns returning punts in his career. He has 11.5 average in his career returning punts. That's better than a first down. Oh, bad punt.
Bad short punt. Out of bounds. And this is going to give the Huskies a chance here to score in the last couple of minutes of the first half.
I shouldn't have bragged about the punting game.
That's only a 14-yard punt, and Lambright knows now he's got a shot. They'll put it down at the 29-yard line.
1 timeout. That's a lot. 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Kaufman can get 29 yards in a heartbeat.
They like to get the ball to Kralik in these situations.
First it's Kaufman, and Big Daddy got there as soon as the ball did.
Boy, he is so tough to cut. So tough to cut off. He's just... Here he is right here, number 72. He reminds me of a young Reggie White. You're just not going to block and see. Then he can go underneath the block and quickly get up and make plays like that.
Incomplete. Jason Shelley. I talked to Big Daddy yesterday, and I said, you know, Napoleon Kaufman's a big-time back. He said, oh, wait a minute. He said, we took on Garrison Hurst. He said, we took on Tyrone Wheatley. No running back going any place without any blockers.
Well, he's destroying a few. But I think sometimes you're almost better off running right at that guy with zone blocking. And I know that the coaches have that in mind to do here tonight. So each gap is filled with offensive linemen. And Steve Morton, the offensive line coach, said that's what they wanted to do.
Big Daddy in the big house tonight, folks. There was movement in the offensive line.
Mark Bruner.
That's another mistake. Dick, the Huskies have made too many mistakes here in the first half.
Too many. And
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Movement by Mark Bruner, the tight end. Had a big game last week. Look at Coach Lambright. Says, I don't know, maybe I would rather be defensive coordinator. He'll be a good one. He's earned the right. He's been around for a long time. I coached against him. Look at the penalties. 4-piece balancing out. But sometimes it's when the penalty occurs that kills you. Call a touchdown back.
Well, that takes him out of good field goal range again. 1:49 to go. That's the second time this has happened in the first half. Ewart comes back complete to the 21-yard line. That's short of the first down. A penalty flag is down on the play at the 1:42 mark. And Walter Taylor, the junior, was there defensively.
Tackle made by 2, Walter Taylor. Flag on the play.
Face mask, they'll add that on, 5 yards. Bruner hit the crease in between the rolled up corner and the safety coming over playing a 2-deep zone, and he got right in between both people. Now you'll see him right there, and then Taylor got around and got the face mask right there. You see him reach around right there. He's got the face mask.
So the ball is put down at the 16-yard line on a 1st and 10. Ewart gets good time and almost serves up an interception. And Mark Williams was all over that football.
Mark Williams, a criminal justice major, must know that's a crime to drop an interception. My gosh, right in his hands. It just totally shocked him. It surprised him. He's chasing the receiver from behind. Number 51. Here he comes to the right side of your screen. Look at this. Boom. He didn't even know it hit him.
The Huskies have been held to 39 yards rushing here in the first half. Minute and a half to go. This defensive front of the Buckeyes, led by Big Daddy Wilkinson, doing a number. Now with time coming down, Ewart keeps it in the air. Incomplete, and the pop was delivered by Williams.
Again, showing the ability to accelerate once the ball is released. Sitting back there, playing zone, the ball lofted out there like that, parallel line of scrimmage. He accelerates, wham, makes the nice play. Says, I'll make up for dropping that interception.
Just listen to this helmet rattler. Was thrown at the 25-yard line on the play.
I never saw a flag, Brent.
Personal foul against the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
That gives him a first down at the 8-yard line. So at 1:27, Washington gets a life on the mistake by the Buckeyes. Let's see if they can capitalize. Flanker to the left. Hillard hands it to Kaufman, and Kaufman is brought down by Randall Brown. Boy, Dick, we've got a score for you out of the Southeastern Conference right now as timeout has been called. Here it is. Florida losing 17-9 now. And they're getting late in that fourth quarter.
There's Coach Al Levan to the left side with the headphones.
What would you do here?
I'd keep the ball in the air, Brent. I'd keep the ball in the air.
Let's get an update on that Kentucky story. John, what do you got?
Brent, you asked for it, and we have it. Florida and Kentucky. Danny Werthel goes to Chris Doring on the touchdown as they're trying to get something going. Kentucky has the lead now. It's 17-15. They're going for a 2-point conversion. We'll keep you updated. Back to you.
Wow, that'll be some story at halftime. Gators attempting to rally. Dick, roughing the, let's take a look at this and see if there was roughing the passer, because that's where the flag was thrown.
Right in the middle of the screen here. Yeah, definitely. It was way late. Came around right here. You can see him get hit in the middle of the back right there.
Jason Simmons hitting him. You could see him coming. and he plowed into him. That's a good call by the referee, Dick Honig here.
Yeah, and that's an experienced defensive lineman, 50-year senior, making a dumb play, Brent.
No timeouts remaining. Second and goal. 1:22 left in the half. Three receivers to Heward's left. Looking in that direction, firing high and incomplete. Kralik was the receiver, but he was overthrown, and Merlin Kerner had the coverage.
Again, they're playing zone coverage, Brent. I really believe they ought to bring somebody across the field and try to hit in between the zones.
And John, what happened with a two-point conversion?
They went back to the well. Worthel this time to Willie Jackson on the pass. Two-point conversion as he just gets it across. They've tied the game 17 apiece with just 7 and change left to go. Back to you.
Wow, what a game that is. Dick Vermeil, we got one brewing here at the end of the first half. Ewart slips the pressure. Fires to a diving receiver for the touchdown. Theron Lee. Theron Hill in the back of the end zone with a fine grab. Hill with 6 points for the Huskies and time running down in the first half.
Good poise by Heward as he steps up inside the rush. Now he gets back and you'll see the rush coming outside, and he moves up inside, and that allows him the time to get that crossing receiver to the back of the end zone. Now watch to the right side of your screen. You'll see him appear right at the top. There, he came back in and got in between the zones. Nice job. Good pass rush up in there. They collapse him up inside. They push him up forward. Good poise by the young quarterback to locate the receiver in the hole.
Dick, that time it was the Buckeyes who self-destructed. Only a 14-yard punt. Then they gave up 2 first downs on penalties. That's Taylor who's shaken up the free safety.
Boy, that is more than a 6-point play. That's a momentum gainer. Going into the halftime mentally, you go in the locker room with a grin on your face. You're automatically now you're thinking positive. Hey, we got it going again. We got to come back. Coaches will make good adjustments. And you believe me, this game is a long ways from over.
.108. It's 14-9 right now, waiting the extra point.
Washington scoring drive.
They need Walter Taylor. The backup free safety is a true freshman. You'd just as soon have an experienced player playing in the game this intense and this tight.
Number 14.
The quarterback sets up to go for the 2 here in this situation.
Last year, the average was 42% successful throughout Division 1A schools. From this formation, they like to roll out, Brent, with the back set in that position. Here they come.
Ewart firing incomplete. 14-9. The 2-point conversion fails. So a reminder, some big shows coming your way this fall on ABC.
Just one day till Super Sunday.
She is something.
Meet Terry Hatcher.
I hope you didn't make dinner plans.
Meet Dean Cain.
I am all yours.
They're Lois and Clark.
Sounds like he made quite an impression on you.
People says Cain is perfect.
Look at you. You're a mess.
And Hatcher is delicious.
There's something between us. There's this connection.
It's a beguiling romantic adventure.
Or a strange one, Clark Kent.
Am I?
Lois and Clark. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central.
94,000 in Ohio Stadium in Columbus, not as noisy as they were a few minutes ago because the Buckeyes let Washington right back into this game, and the Huskies took advantage of it with a touchdown pass by Heward.
Yeah, and that bad punt, 14-yard punt, punting it out, and we were just praising the punting game. Bad time to get the bad one.
This is going to be some hard-hitting second half. Kicking it off for the Huskies. High, short kickoff. Bounces at the 15. Picked up by Glenn.
And the Buckeyes have one timeout left. In a 2-minute drill, they go to a shotgun formation. At least they did on the practice field on Thursday.
A minute 4 to work with here in the first half.
I think the Buckeyes in their passing approach the first half, yes, they're going deep and they get the big play, Brent, but they're not hitting a very good percentage. In the second half, they're going to have to run some crossing patterns and that kind of stuff. That's a better percentage completion pass.
Let's see what Coach Cooper wants to do with the last minute here of the first half. He's content to let the seconds tick away. Andy Mason, that outside linebacker, number 13, played a little baseball this summer, and Cooper probably burning up inside about giving the Huskies that late touchdown here in the first half. You give a good football team like Washington that many chances, they'll take advantage of it. And there's the young man who caught the ball in the back of the end zone. Seconds tick away on the first half. Harris, he was a tough customer. He stops the clock.
They really haven't stopped that off-tackle play where they pull the backside guard and block out with a fullback yet. They're going to have to get more people at the point of the attack, be more physical there, or they're going to keep making yards. That play is the old Woody Hayes, off-tackle play, Brent. Same one. Archie Griffin made 1,000 yards running that thing.
Woody's wife, Ann, always attending the games. She's up here not far away, sitting in the stands. Hoyne hit on the release, going for Galloway and out of bounds. And Hoyne took a lick that time. The crowd wanting a flag.
No, that was a legal hit. He was rolling out. He was outside the pocket, and he hit him just as he threw the ball. That was DeMarco Farr, 75. That'll flash from the left side of your screen. They ran an out and up tight move. That's why he flagged him with that little pump. Good defensive play by DeMarco Farr. Good defensive lineman, DeMarco Farr. Excellent. Great quickness. And you recognize that name, fans. That's Mel Farr's cousin, the great running back for the Detroit Lions, UCLA. DeMarco Farr again. He beat Dave Monod, number 77, on an outside rush. Dave didn't get a very good jam on him at all.
Well, a fumbled punt and then a bad 14-yard punt by Ohio State gave the Huskies 9 points. It's 14-9. Let's go to John Saunders. John?
All right, Brent, thanks a lot. We'll look forward to the second half. Coming up next on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll have all the scores and highlights. Plus, we will pose the question, should college athletes be paid? It's all coming up next.
Season premiere of Home Improvement.
We have all the kids we can stand right now.
Will Jill have a baby girl? Then the series premiere of Moon Over Miami.
Showtime.
The romantic comedy
Worry.
that flirts with danger.
Would you please excuse me while I take a shower?
Don't mind me. USA Weekend calls it the next Northern Exposure.
This is fun.
We live for fun, Gwen.
Moon Over Miami.
Fun is, in fact, our business.
Premieres Wednesday after Home Improvement.
This is a 2 News Update.
Time Report is brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. From New York, John Saunders.
And welcome once again, everyone, to the Prudential Halftime Report. We're going to run down all the day's action, but let's start off with games still underway. Florida and Kentucky, they are tied. Florida has tossed 7 interceptions into this game. Kentucky, for them, that ties a school record. 3 by Marcus Jenkins, tying a school record. Marty Moore, 2 interceptions. That is also on his way to another record. They just keep turning it over. Tennessee over Georgia, 28-6 in the third quarter. Heath Schuler has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Corey Fleming. NC State all over Wake Forest, 34-16. Eddie Goins, 5 catches, for 207 yards and 2 touchdowns, a school record. Now let's run down all the rest of the action done from this afternoon. We'll start off with the #1 team in the nation. Charlie Ward with a terrific day for the Seminoles. Here he scrambles out of trouble, fought Lonnie Johnson, and Ward, 25 of 32, 4 touchdowns, 318 yards. Florida State is now outscored their opponents 144-7 in their last 3 games. Alabama and Vanderbilt. Sherman Williams on the option here, spots David Palmer. 14-0 at that point, and Alabama holds on for the 17-6 win. Sherman Williams over 100 all-purpose yards, but David Palmer was the story of the day. 217 yards. That is an Alabama school record. Notre Dame and Michigan. Kevin McDougal, what a day he had. Few people knew he could scramble like this. 43 yards on this touchdown run. The Irish on top. Tyrone Wheatley, though, from 4 yards out. A nice change of direction. He is in. 27-17. Todd Collins, though, late in the game, is picked off by Jeff Burris. His second interception. Collins was picked off 3 times in the game. And the Fighting Irish hold off Michigan at Ann Arbor. 27-23 is the final. McDougal, 12 of 21, 208 yards. He also rushed for a couple of touchdowns. Texas A&M and Oklahoma. The Sooners off and running here is Cale Gundy with a touchdown pass to Allen. 20-0 was the score there as James Allen hauls it in. Darius Johnson intercepts this one. Corey Pullock struggled on the day. 30 yards he returns this one. For the first time in 6 years, Oklahoma knocks off a team in the top 5. Gundy, 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nebraska winner over Texas Tech, 50-27. Damon Benning, 19 carries for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Baylor and Colorado, a high-scoring affair, and the Buffs were off and running and rolling and stomping over everyone here. Cordell Stewart, a little Hail Mary, looking for anyone in the end zone. Watch the ball bounce free, and Charles Johnson comes out of nowhere and makes the grab for the touchdown. 35-0, and they roll in that one 45-21. Maryland scores 42 and loses to North Carolina 59-42. Curtis Johnson and Leon Johnson both over 100 yards. Penn State squeaks it out over USC 21-20. Here's the final seconds of the game. 37 seconds left. Rob Johnson to Johnny McWilliams, 21-20. They go for the 2-point conversion. They say the ball was trapped, and Penn State holds on for the win. 21-20. 2 of the best coaches ever in college football congratulate each other there. Arkansas comes back and beats South Carolina. Oscar Malone scoring from 2 yards out with 1:57 left to put the Razorbacks on the top there. Hawaii and BYU, it's in the WAC, so you expect it to be high scoring. It was. John Walsh, 60 yards to Eric Graves as BYU tries to march to set up the go-ahead field goal, which they do. Joe Herrick from 40 yards out through the uprights. The Rainbows had missed one, and BYU wins it. 41-38 is the final there. San Jose State led for much of the game, but they lose to Stanford 31-28. Steve Stenstrom was the story in this game. 30 of 39 for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. We'll have more of the college football action in just a little bit of time, but right now let's get you updated on the U.S. Open. Steffi Graf wins it again, straight sets over Helena Sukova. Pete Sampras and Cedric Pioline will meet tomorrow in the men's final. Back with more in a moment, but first, a look at some scores, including Louisville's Howard Schnellenberger. He is on the sidelines against Memphis State. He flew in from Miami, where his son is in good condition after being shot in a robbery of a friend's home yesterday. When we come back, Marianne Grabavoy poses the question, should players be paid to play college football?
Those boys go out and earn millions of dollars for their university, and everybody benefits except the player.
Time Report has been brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Let's get you updated in the SEC. 3 seconds to go in the game. Florida now leads 24-20 in this one. We will get you updated. And a reminder, next week, you'll get a chance to see Florida and the Gators right here on ABC as they take on Tennessee in SEC action. Part of our regional coverage. Penn State against Iowa in the Big Ten. Nebraska and UCLA. And how about Marvin Graves and Syracuse going on to face Texas, or another Heisman hopeful, Marshall Faulk, and San Diego State in the WAC against Air Force. All next week here at 3:30 Eastern Time on ABC. Earlier today, we started the Coors Light Fan Pick Challenge. And this is a look at the number that you can call, 1-800-932-3000, to register your vote every week. Here's a look at this week's top 10 in Florida State. The fans agree with the pollsters right now. They are on top. Here's a look at the rest of the top 10. The second half kickoff is straight ahead. Enjoy it.
American Olympic champions. In 1976, a student from Morehouse College turned in one of the most impressive performances in Olympic history.
Patrick Moses running away with it. Buckshine is second. Camberlico is third. It is Moses, and the time 47.65 unofficially.
As part of their continued support of amateur athletics, Visa today is proud to donate another $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team to support future Olympic hopefuls in their quest for the gold.
Some thrive. 4,000 on hand here in Ohio Stadium. It's 14-9. The Buckeyes with the lead. So with Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. Very interesting. I saw Coach Cooper's wife and daughter at intermission. They said, we need a new kicking game. Otherwise, things are working well for the Bucks.
It's going real well for the Bucks. And, you know, they've self-destructed, as you said, with the kicking game on the 14-yard punt and the fumble punt. But the defense is playing so well. But I think Washington has a lot more to offer here.
Now, let's take a look at this key play offensively.
It was the sprint out on 4th and 2. Key block by Costner, the fullback. They throw a little hook zone right there. Galloway gets it, missed tackles, innate running ability. Touchdown, a 4th and 2 call, a guts call by the head coach.
Ready to start the second half here in Columbus. Washington will get the first possession. Tim Williams kicking off for the Bucks. High, short, fielded at the 7 by Kaufman. Kaufman was held to 28 net yards from scrimmage, and he's wrapped up here at the 31. Julie Moran had a quick chat with Coach Jim Lambright as he came out from the locker room.
Coach, that touchdown put you back in the game. What did you tell the team at halftime?
Oh, that there's still 2 quarters to go. Regardless of what we did in the first half, we got 2 quarters to dominate.
They scored 2 big ones on you in the first. What are you going to do different defensively?
Well, we made some adjustments as far as to their wide slots to try to get a little pressure upfield on the quarterback, keep him in the pocket a little bit better, and a couple of defensive line adjustments.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Well, Dick, they start off the second half by bringing the fullback. That's Matt Jones, born in Portland, Oregon, right up the middle.
You know, the thing they haven't done with their offense yet is run the option to the short side of the field, and I know they have that in their game plan, but they're going to have to spread that running game out just a little bit and more variety within their running game. It was the 3rd quarter last week when they exploded against Stanford.
They might have to run more at Big Daddy Wilkinson here in the second half, not let him penetrate. And again, they go to the fullback. John Saunders, what's up now with Florida, Kentucky?
Well, Brent, Kentucky picked off Florida quarterbacks 7 times in this game, but they couldn't get this one. Danny Werfel, the Chris Doering, 29 yards, and this is the game winner. 2 seconds left on the clock. 24-20 is the final. The Gators advance. Back to you, Brent.
Steve Spurrier's offense pulls one out again. Here it's 14-9, starting the second half. Washington with its sophomore quarterback, Damon Huard. Kaufman, the lone running back. Off a fake, the blitz is on. Ball is down on the ground. And it's Ohio State's ball on the fumble. Buckeyes force a fumble with Jason Simmons coming in, and Randall Brown recovers.
They were in a double tight end, 1-back attack, wanted a play action. Play action takes a little time. They brought both defensive ends. You'll see him coming off the corner here with immediate pressure. Play action, little waggle. Now see, fake to fake there, deep in the backfield. No one picks up the back. side. Fumble. There it is, the ball's live. At first, Brent, I thought it was an incomplete forward pass. I thought he had started to throw the ball. Here comes Simmons, number 91, right there. The ball slipped out of his hand before he got it up there.
1st and 10 for the Bucks, trying to take advantage of the turnover here in the early going of the second half. And it's Harris, hole in the middle of that defense. As again, Klein, Porter, Winrow, Thrush, Mono, and Stringer paving the way for Harris, and here are the numbers.
You can see Ohio State has the edge on first downs and time of possession. This turnover hurt him on that one fumbled punt. Touchdown was called back for the Huskies. Game close, stats close. Difference right now, the Huskies are not able to run the football well.
They measure on that carry by Harris this time, and that net yards for Kaufman, that's an impressive defensive stat. Anytime you can hold Napoleon Kaufman to 28 net yards in one half of football, you've done a fabulous job. Now a first down for the Bucks. The ball is at the Washington 22-yard line. Big Daddy and his mates taking a break over here, and the offense will try to pound one in for Coach Cooper.
See that they balanced up their offense in the first ball game, at least in yardage. It was not so much in rush and pass attempts, but in yardage gain, it was pretty balanced.
Throw on the slants, intercepted by Lewis Jones of the Huskies. They run the slant pattern, and Hoy coughs up the interception.
Well, the pressure on the quarterback hurt him on the throw, but he did not read it. See, they didn't play man-to-man. They gave him a man-to-man look, but they didn't run man-to-man. See, he stops and throws. Now he's got heat right there. He lets it go, but he didn't see them go zone in that area on the outside break. He throws a slant interception.
And Donovan Schmidt was wrapped all over Hoyne on the release. Enormous pressure here from Schmidt. Watch him come into the quarterback.
See, he's just sitting in that hole waiting.
Jones again gets the call. So here is the start of the second half as Hoyne talking to the staff over there. Ohio State turning it over now twice, having fumbled a punt and an interception.
If there is a good area on the field to throw an interception, it might as well be thrown down here. At least they have 75 yards to go to score.
2nd and 7. The option put on the ground on the pitch, and Kaufman has to wrap it up right away as Craig Powell came rushing in on him.
I've been waiting for that option. Remember, they ran it successfully one time in the second quarter and haven't come back to it. Now they come back to it, and they pitch it poorly. The defense is disrupting the poise of the Huskies.
Third and 14 from the 21. And the hand to Kaufman, and Stiles wraps him up.
They ran the draw, got the hard rush by Wilkinson and that kind of thing, but good recoverage by the linebacker stopped what looked like was going to be a big run. You'll see they get him outside, get these people upside and hit the hole, but the linebackers recover. Now see, they get him up there. There's a nice hole. They step around, but number 90, Lorenzo Stiles, fills it.
Wardell under enormous pressure, and there's a penalty flag down. Galloway fielding the punt, but you could see the infraction. They plowed into Wardell.
Flag on the play.
You'll see him get in there. It was after he got rid of the ball. He really hung it up there. Beautiful punch. He gets it out there. He's hung out to dry. Now he just bumps into it. Down he goes. See how they're ruling this.
running into the kicker on the defense. Declined. First down at the end of the kick.
The reason why it was declined, it was 4th and 6.
You know, the guy's got his leg out there like that. That's a judgment call.
Bobby Hoyne coming in from the Ohio State sideline. His second start, and there are their leaders. Hoyne, Dick, was 5 of 12 in the first half.
Yeah, but I think they've been asking him to throw the ball deep an awful lot, and they're not high percentage plays. Yes, you hit one, great, but if you don't, you're second and long.
They might be a little tentative after having that slant picked off.
Well, they have a lot of other things in their arsenal.
DeMarco Farr leading that defensive rush for the Huskies. He had a fabulous first half. Hoyne throwing again and incomplete into that sideline. So let's check the scoreboard. 35-6. Ray Goff will start to feel the heat down around Athens and Atlanta. Georgia's going to start out 0-2. They were beaten a week ago by South Carolina. Memphis State, folks thought they might have a good team. 26-7 at the half. Snellenberger putting a licking on them. Here it's 14-9. Buckeyes over the Huskies. How about SMU leading Wisconsin? 2nd and 10. Raymond Harris has been the workhorse. Off the fake, Hoyne steps to the right. Going complete to Galloway. Galloway crosses midfield to the 44-yard line. Josh Moore pops him.
You see the action in the backfield here. Freezes people, and then he gets out there and allows time for the crossing receiver coming from the right side of your screen. Now see, action to the right. Now he comes out of the bootleg, no pressure in his face. Donovan Schmidt, 52, trying to get out there. Crossing within the zone. Now you get the ball into position. He can run upfield. Remember, he's the guy that took the 4th and 2 play and scored with it.
He's caught 4 passes for 104 yards now. 32 yards on that reception. Well-deserved break for junior wideout Joey Galloway, who missed all of last year with that knee injury. First down for Hoyne and the Bucks. Panote going nowhere because DeMarco Farr was all over him.
DeMarco Farr, I think there was a mistake in blocking right there. They jumped in and covered all 3 people inside. You'll see what I'm talking about here. They have the center covered and both guards covered, and they didn't block DeMarco Farr. He gets right underneath big Jason Winrow, number 68. He has that great quickness to accelerate underneath an offensive lineman.
2 of the great ones here, DeMarco Farr, and on the other side, Big Daddy for the Buckeyes. They're showing you how to play that defensive line, aren't they?
Well, when you cover both the center and guard, that offensive guard does not get help from his center coming onside through that gap. So the guard's got to be cautious about that gap.
After hurry, the seconds were ticking away off a play fake. Hoyne straight back, Farr pursuing it, and he throws almost intercepted again. They wanted Galloway. Josh Moore was there with coverage, and I want to tell you, Farr was closing in on his prey again.
Josh Moore was the starter last year. He started 11 games. He was hurt early in training camp, and he just hasn't been able to regain his starting position.
Dick, we asked Joey Galloway about the entire team staying in Columbus this summer.
Not only did we work hard, but we were around each other every day. And I think that just builds camaraderie, and it just makes everybody a little tighter.
Makes a difference with a team when they stick around school, work out, lift weights, maybe even go to the library. Huh? Here's William Houston now, checks in at fullback. That's the shotgun look, Hoyne, and down he goes, and you know who's got him. Big number 75, DeMarco Farr.
Again, they covered those 3 people inside, so you're singled up in there, one-on-one pass protection. He held onto the ball just a little bit too long. See the 3 defensive linemen covering the center and both guards. See, they're just sitting there. Now he's on Monod, number 77. He takes him outside, then he accelerates underneath. Good move by DeMarco Farr. Much better condition this year than last.
Give me some of those Steve Empman dollars. Come on, DeMarco, starting to bring it.
Well, the coaches say he's had a very good training camp. He's in better shape than he was last year. Tried to play a little too heavy last year.
Turnip punting again. Remember, he had that weak one at the end of the first half, the 14-yarder. This one much better. It's Bino. Looking for daylight. He's a dangerous return man, number 11. 8:45 to go, third quarter. The Big House in Columbus. 14-9, the Bucks.
Tackle SEC rival Florida. Penn State meets Iowa in a Big Ten battle or other regional action next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
We're born to give that man a Nielsen rating book. College football on ABC is brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the last 10 years, and by Express Mail overnight service from your post office. We deliver for you. And here it is, the Buckeye defense that has been delivering for Ohio State, leading the Huskies of Washington, who came in here favored 14-9. Damon Huard and the Huskies off the blitz. The hand is to Kaufman, who steps away from the pressure nicely before he's wrapped up. Intelligent runner, Taylor, gets credit for the tackle.
Brent, you said blitz. Bill Young, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, does not like the blitz, but he said in this ball game they were going to have to take some chances and try to pressure them more than they normally play. There was one of those blitz calls.
That whole side, nobody's done it.
It could be Taylor who's shaken up. Junior free safety. He was down once in the first half, too.
He's from Dallas, Texas. Again, as I said, Brent, last time, Anthony Quinn, the backup free safety, is a true freshman that was actually a high school quarterback converted. So they don't have a lot of experience back there.
Hey, we went out to Waverly, Ohio. We saw Dick Vermeil's favorite psychic the other night at the Emmett House, and she promised us Ohio State was going to win this baby.
But you know what she said? She said they would start real quick, dominate the first quarter. She said the Huskies would come back in the second quarter, then it'd be a dogfight in the second half. She's right so far.
She also told our PA, Chris Pfeiffer, he'd be engaged by Christmas.
He almost fell off his chair.
He had a heck of a night. 14-9, and Taylor being helped off. It's amazing what you can tell by candlelight. Now look at the difference, huh? They ran all over that Stanford defense. Not tonight. Kaufman with 195 has only 41 tonight. So Huard takes it up on top. He's got Kralik diving and incomplete. Had him open for a step, didn't he, Coach?
He did everything right. He pump faked to keep the safety in the middle, but what he did wrong is he threw the ball too flat. No room for the receiver to adjust the ball. It had to be a perfect throw. He did not throw it perfect. As he gains experience, he'll put more air under that ball and let the receiver run under it. You know, in talking with Damon Huard, his dad was his high school coach, and he said it was a big advantage because they used a lot of the terminology in the high school program that the Huskies use. So coming here, there's just a lot of carryover.
I wonder if Big Daddy was watching DeMarco. He's number 72. Lined up there at defensive tackle, and he's double teamed. Huard gets time. Huard throws the interception. Picked off by Tim Patillo, the junior safety.
Brent, the receiver fell down. Bean O'Brien was down the hole. It was a poor throw, but still he was trying to get the ball to Bean O'Brien, and he fell down in the grass turf down there, almost right in the middle of the zero. They doubled up Big Daddy inside. You'll see Big Daddy coming right here. You'll see there's a lot of people blocking on him right now. Good adjustment offensively. See, there's one guy, there's two guys blocking on him. Now you see Bryant coming down the hole. Freeze it right there. Freeze it right there. You see he's on the ground. They try to get him the ball. Interception.
And Kaufman comes back to make the stick for the Huskies. Now it's Moyne and Ohio State. The defenses are the story of this game here tonight. Moyne fires against pressure, and the Huskies were not fooled on that play. They were all over the Buckeye quarterback. Hillary, Butler, Harrison, coverage.
Brent, the defensive coaches, Coach Chris Tormey and Ron Milas and Randy Hart, along, of course, with Jim Lambright, have changed the defenses over there. You notice it, in the first half, the quarterback was able to get outside there. In the second half, they're bringing people off the corner to get in his face right now. Plus, they're also covering the offensive guard to make it a little tougher to run there. There's no bubble.
Second and 10. Coyne under pressure, throws incomplete.
That should have been caught. He quit running on it too soon, Brent. Inexperienced receiver. He dove for it, I believe, a little bit early. He was in the air, made a nice effort, but I think he could have taken another step. Terry Glenn is a redshirt freshman. Caught 2 balls in his career. See the ball coming down right in the middle of the screen. He's leaving his feet early. See, he could have run another step or two and made that play.
Josh Moore covering Glenn, who's only a freshman.
Here's a second look. You see how his feet there are back there? He could have run to it.
And Hoyne showed a little courage. Stood up. Intense pressure by this Husky defensive front. Stands and delivers and almost intercepted that time. Warrior Malloy, what a dandy he's going to be, number 9. Also plays some baseball. He is chiseled.
Yes, he is. He's a fine baseball player, too. He's drafted out of high school by the Cleveland Indians.
We had an opportunity to ask Jim Lambright, what was the toughest part of becoming head coach and replacing Don James?
It's assuming the public relations role of head coach, and there's so many other responsibilities that go with that title, and then I'm still defensive coordinator and linebacker coach.
So now the Bucks are punting. Turner.
You know, each team giving each team the other opportunity with turnovers and that to capitalize, but so far no one's really taken advantage of it.
Ohio State 14, Washington 9. We'll be right back. This has been a great era for the Washington Huskies out in Seattle. What a fabulous team Don James put together now, and Jim Lambright and the rest of the staff attempting to carry on as Bino Bryant, one of the great ones recruited by that staff. And it tailback, and number 11 steps away, slips a tackle. Nice run by Bino before Williams could bring him down.
You talk about great running instincts. These kind of things you don't teach. Gets the slant handoff deep in the backfield. There's penetration. Now, you'll see what I'm talking about right here. There's going to be some penetration. He gets right here, and all of a sudden, boom, he takes it back. Innate running ability. Now see, there's penetration right. Look at him. They're just right angle break upfield, makes people miss, accelerate with great speed.
2nd and 4. How good is this Buckeye defense? Washington searching for its first down this half. And they finally get one. It's Shelley out of bounds, and there's their first down of the second half. Tim Walton pushing him out.
And when you make first downs, you get the ball in the hands of the people that make big plays. And the coaches have said that Jason Shelley is their big play receiver. Yes, he's young, out of Vallejo High School, but he can make big plays. He caught 3 passes in the Rose Bowl for 100 yards, Brent, so he can make big plays.
He too, a baseball player, had a cup of coffee in the Braves organization down in Florida. Went only 2 for 18, so he's taking another look at football. Here's Bino stepping away from the defense this time. And in pursuit was Chico Nelson with a flag down.
Again, demonstrating that kind of a running ability. See, he runs with his feet apart. And when he gets up there, he can put 1 foot down. You'll watch this as a draw play to the right side of your screen. Deep draw. Now see that? He hit that left foot and just exploded outside. And then an offensive lineman just reached out and grabbed Randall Brown.
Hey, Dick, Big Daddy's somewhat quieter here in the second half. Are they doubling up on him down there?
Well, you know, these Washington coaches have been in a lot of big games.
On the offense, 10 yards from the flag, repeat the down.
And they aren't going to allow somebody to continually whip them without giving some help. And Steve Morton, the offensive line coach, I'm sure has made some adjustments. Right in the middle of your screen, you'll see the holding. Freeze it right there. Freeze it right there. You can't do that, young man. He got caught. First and 22. Deflected, incomplete. Randall Brown getting his hands up to knock it down. He's having a good football game. They didn't block him last time. They held him. Coaches work on these kind of drills. You'll see him right here in the middle of your screen. Now he's going to throw the ball there. Now see him jump. He's watching him all the way. He's watching the quarterback. He knows he's not getting there. So as he goes ahead and gets up in the air and bats it down.
Dick, that time they had Matt Jones helping out on Big Daddy as he came around, the offensive lineman. So they are really watching where 72 is coming from. Give him an option look and a pitch to Bryant. Bino running away from the defenders and out of bounds with Patillo, who made an interception a short time ago. Dick, talk to the fans about the hash marks being brought in and the defense having to pay attention to a wider side.
Well, see, you can set your offensive strength to that side of the field now, Brent, because you gain that 6 foot 8 inches, a little more room to run. You can run options there a little better. When you pitch the ball, there's more perimeter for him to go. Plus, there's more area to defense in with pass coverage. You might see more man-to-man on that side and zone away from it this year.
3rd and 10. The ball on the 38-yard line. Eward will try to pass for the first down. Over the middle. Shelley, the intended receiver. The ball comes free.
I don't know if he had possession of that, Brent. I don't know if he ever came down properly. He did get hit. I think it was Mark Williams that nailed him. There's Alonzo Styles, number 90, right in the middle. You see him looking, reading the quarterback's eyes, seeing the zone. The quarterback finds the hole. Now, there is, right in the middle of the screen, he makes, I don't know if he had possession of that ball. I don't ever think he really had total possession, Brent.
Seemed to be coming loose on the turn. Lorenzo Styles right there. He recovered the fumble, and the Buckeyes have it there, close to midfield.
They're screwed up on defense that time. They were not lined up properly.
And Harris took advantage of it. He pounds through that defense before Butler can bring him down here at the 6:13 mark in the 3rd. Another turnover.
-1 in turnovers. You lose 3 out of 4 ball games.
Still anybody's game at 14-9. The way these two defenses have played here tonight.
Two very, very well-coached defensive football teams. They got 9 men up there, 8 men right up inside to stop the run, Brent. Tough to run.
That's Chris Sanders, the junior, stepping in motion, and DeMarco Farr just eats up the running back all over Harris that time.
You know, he's been a great football player for a long time. He played in the South Shrine game in high school in Los Angeles, which was one of the top Shrine games in the country.
So DeMarco Farr, some night we'll be seeing him on Monday Night Football, huh?
He's going to have a little problem at 6'1", Brent, 265. He's a tweener, you know, a little bit small for a defensive lineman, but he does have that great quickness.
Jimmy Johnson will take him. He loves those small guys that can move. 3rd and 8. Boyne pulls it out off a fake now. Steps in, delivers, out of bounds. You know, speaking of playing on Monday night, we go to the dog pound in Cleveland. Ernie Kosar will lead the Browns against Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers. 9 Eastern time. All right, Vermeil. 49ers of the Browns.
49ers. They're so tough, Brett. And, you know, on the road, they're as tough on the road as they are at home.
Donovan Schmidt unloaded on the quarterback.
You know, I don't know why you don't go to a little more of a possession type throw on those 3rd and longs when you have a zone coverage you're attacking that time. They tried to run a hook and go on 3rd and long.
You just wonder if Bino is going to get an opportunity. This punt a little bit high, and he'll make the fair catch there at the 17-yard line. 4:47. He's only redshirt freshman, folks.
Take your badge right now for initiating an illegal investigation.
I'm trying to solve a murder here!
Hit the water. Feel the pressure. And brace for impact. Because these two cops are about to make waves. Bruce Willis, Sarah Jessica Parker. Striking Distance. Rated R. At theaters Friday.
I'm State Farm Agent Jeff Libby. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is helping young parents, people who are just beginning to understand what life insurance is all about. Young couples don't need a sales talk. They just need to talk to someone who understands them and their life insurance needs. Now, I know what that promise of security means, and I don't believe there's a better promise a parent can make.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Everywhere you look, people are turning to Enterprise Rent-A-Car for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Detonex. Killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Detonex.
Well, the Horseshoe has been very unkind to Washington in this half. 4 possessions, 3 turnovers, and 1 punt. And our thanks to Captain Chambers and the crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for these spectacular shots on tonight's matchup. They'll probably be with us again Monday night over in Cleveland. And this man up here has not left his post. Folks, he had to go to the men's room at halftime, but they wouldn't let him leave up there. He's on duty. He's got to stand and watch. Got his eye on all 94,000. Now Bean O'Brien and Richard Thomas. They're the running backs for the Huskies here. And it's Richard Thomas, the sophomore, with Wilkinson and Brown standing there defensively.
All these people move so much better than the last Husky defense I saw, Brent. You know, if you don't block a down lineman on the backside well, he can come around from the backside like Brown did that time and make the play. Before they'd be a step short. More team speed.
Yeah, the Buckeyes are much faster, much like the Huskies. There's a fast defense through the years out in Seattle. Now Damon Huard. The option look. Bino's cut off. Wilkinson got through first and couldn't bring him down. Walton coming in to clean it up.
Boy, it was amazing. A defensive lineman, 305 pounds, getting out there on the option. He's going down the line of scrimmage. He takes a big hit right there. Really gets nailed. But look who shows up out here. Big old 72. He makes them cut back. Outstanding movement by a man 6'5", 305 pounds.
And you know, just a baby.
Just growing up. How'd you like to beat him?
There's a whole lot of cows on the run when they see him
Coverage is
coming.
wrong here, Brent.
All right, let's see what he can do against it. You are throwing. Kralick's got it, and it was not jarred loose on a hit by Kerner.
They were screwed up in coverage. Nobody lined up in the slot. He was all alone.
So they go to the veteran, Joe Kralick, the 5'10 senior who's back after a 1-game suspension.
Boy, I saw that up here. I said, holy mackerel, see here? There's nobody in this area out there. Then they come with the pass. He's yelling for the ball. Then they run the outside guy in. And Kralick down to the outside. Here he is.
Now the delay. Bryant, he's showing flashes, and Walton runs him down.
See what they're doing?
Chico Nelson. Let me correct that. Number 13, that was Chico Nelson.
They won't let him go upfield. They're making him run parallel. Last week when they were so successful in running the ball, they got through and they were into the secondary quickly. They just can't get there. Good front seven of that defense. Being controlled, actually, on the line of scrimmage.
Dick, you know, Bryant gives you a little bit more of an outside step. Kaufman, a little bit more of that inside. This is kind of a different look from this running back right here. It's a change-up as Janoski comes in motion. The toss is to Bryant to the short side. Now on the cutback. He's in a foot race. And Bean O'Brien across midfield to the 45-yard line. Craig Powell chasing him.
that great speed, Brent. State 400-meter champion in California. You can run when you win that 400 meters. See, and he can accelerate. But what he can really do is he can bounce around, but the defense is making him run parallel most of the time. See, here he is. They won't let him turn up. He wants to turn up. Can't. Now he's running his own reverse. There should be a man back there in a contained position. Broke the discipline of the defense.
A 12-yard run for Bryant. 1st and 10 at the Buckeye 45. Huskies on the move, being led by Bino Bryant. Play fake to Kaufman, who's checked back in. Huard down the right sideline. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down. Penalty flag.
He just threw that away.
That flag was down in the secondary, wasn't it?
It is, Brent.
North Carolina State today. Coming up, Arkansas over South Carolina. Steve Tannehill couldn't pull this one out. What a wild and woolly one that must have been out in Utah. Now this one hurts. Helps the Huskies. They'll gladly take it.
Let's see what they've called.
Holding on an eligible receiver on the defense. 10 yards, automatic first down.
All right. There's a fresh set of downs here late in the 3rd quarter. Huskies are trailing by 5. It was Kerner. And he was hurt on that tackle a little bit earlier, so he has gone to the sideline as Travis Hansen gets his leg warmed up. The ball at the Buckeye 35. It's Kaufman. Kaufman runs into the middle and styles.
They show you a hole, you know, and it looks like it's going to be there. The running back takes it, and then the linebackers are closing on it quickly and making the play. To see what I'm talking about right here, the center will block off to the left side. Watch the center will block off here and seal it, and he'll step around. It looks like to the running back, he says, gosh, there's going to be a nice hole there. I'm going to get some running room. Now watch it close. There comes Lorenzo Styles, and he fills it.
Now 2nd down and 9 with Hill, who scored their touchdown in motion. They fire it outside to Jason Shelley, and Shelley, with Walton draped all over him, picks up a few more yards.
Clever play, a new player in their offense. They get over to a trip set with a tight end and 2 wide receivers via motion. Just throw a little quick hitch to him and then get some blocking out there with the wide receivers. They're getting the ball in the right person's hands if they're going to move it into the end zone. That's Jason Shelley.
That's a 1st down for the Huskies at the Buckeye 24. Hoffman, the tailback, and they use the fullback, and they have been using Richard Thomas at that fullback position as the seconds tick away here in the 3rd quarter. So Tuesday night, 2 of the season premieres you've been waiting for. First, Darlene's off to college on the season premiere of Roseanne, followed by the new season of Coach. Your Tuesday comedy favorites premiere next week on ABC.
You think he can really coach?
2nd down and 9. And Huard keeps it. Randall Brown is there for the Bucks.
Randall Brown has played an outstanding game. The offensive line that time, Pete Pearson and Andrew Peterson on that short side, came off the ball really well. They moved the defensive front that time. Good offensive line surge.
So the seconds will tick away on quarter number 3. The Huskies are in that situation where they can use 2 downs to get the 5 yards. And we'll return with the 4th quarter between Washington and Ohio State after this word from our ABC station.
Going to work. They're turning
the story after the game.
Wonderful setting in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State leading Washington 14-9. This is Washington's longest drive of the night. 3rd and 5 at the 19. And they with a first down.
Excellent decision with the play call there by Jeff Woodruff. Ohio State comes up with a tight man coverage. Tough to get that guy out of the backfield that way. Everyone's concentrating over to that slot. Run him out the backside like that. Good call.
That was the 10th play of the drive. Started back at the 17 at the 4:47 mark in the third quarter. First time that Cooper's defense has been reeling. Daddy might be a little tired. The toss to Kaufman. Kaufman inside the 10.
Really a nice block by Richard Thomas, the lead fullback. Did a nice job of leading that through the point of attack. It was forced back up inside. They turned it back up inside. The fullback read it. Now Thomas, number 30. Watch him. Just follow him. This is how the fullback position should be played. Now he's going to go with this force back up inside. Now watch him cut block. Right there. He just knocked him down. He goes right up over the top.
Second down. Ball at the Buckeyes 7. Kaufman to the 3.
Boy,
Mark Williams there.
if there is a crack, Kaufman finds it. Any kind of a crack.
Word from the Ohio State sideline. Turner with a thigh bruise. May not come back. Ty Howard has replaced him.
No experience. He redshirted in '92. Redshirt freshman. No experience playing out there and some pretty good receivers.
A big break for the Huskies. They didn't get a first down on that situation. That leaves them 3rd and short. They can get a ton of downs here with only a yard to go. Now Muir on the roll. And he is stuffed coming back. That was Patillo. He hit him along with Walton.
Good defensive discipline. I question that call, Brent. You've got momentum. You only need a few inches. Don't fool them. Just knock their butts off and make them 1 foot, you know.
Hey, you've got a couple of downs.
Yeah, listen, this takes a long time. Good discipline in the defense right here. He's maintaining it. Timmy Walton, he's in contained position. 4th down, going for the field goal.
Oh, you've got to question that, don't you, Dick?
Well,
I mean,
they will themselves.
3rd and 1.
Yeah.
So pound in there for the first
If you didn't make it, then you got 4th and inches, and you make the decision to kick it.
Come on, Coach, let's get a first and goal.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, here's Travis Hansen. You got to wonder, Dick. You got to get down there again now. And take a delay of game here.
That actually helps the field goal kicker if they do move it back. They will refuse it. They'll refuse it.
Red ball, delay a game against the offense, decline.
See, field goal kicking, since they moved the goalpost in, dropped off in efficiency about 6%, but it drops off more than that as you get closer with that angle.
Well, I'll tell you, against this Buckeye defense, you're really gambling that you can get down there again.
I know you are.
Wow. Here is Hansen now, 21-yard attempt. Bjornsson, the backup quarterback, will put it down. So Hansen gets his job done. The Buckeyes' lead is 2. Of course, a field goal would win it.
Season premiere of Home Improvement when Jill wants a baby.
Maybe women should just start giving birth in stadiums.
Good luck getting 50,000 guys to see that.
Home Improvement Wednesday.
Back at Columbus, we've been talking about that 3rd down decision down there on this play. Was it a busted play, Dick? This was 3rd down now and 1 for the first down.
Well, they're all faking so much in there. I don't think it's a busted play. I think it's a naked bootleg call, and I think the coaching staff is really going to question that when they start looking at the tapes tomorrow and that decision.
Yeah, now 4th down was right. In that situation,
yes.
Go ahead and kick the field goal. So it's the one we're second guessing is that 3rd down play, just to be clear on that with everybody. So here's the kickoff by the Huskies, trailing it by a couple. Ball fielded by Glenn at the 8. And Glenn finds an alley up the sideline.
You know, Terry Glenn was actually a kickoff return specialist right here in Columbus. Went to Brookhaven High School, and he walked on here. They knew he was a good football player, but they wouldn't give him a scholarship because they weren't sure of him academically. They said, you come to school here, prove you can do the academic work, and
Well, it was their most impressive drive of the season until they got down in the shadow of the goal line. Now William Houston, the senior fullback, checks in as the bodyguard for Raymond Harris, and Big Daddy taking a quick break, but he's running back there. He'll be back.
William Houston is a 260-pound fullback disguised as a guard back there, Brent. He's a blocker in that position.
Saunders, the tight end's been a blocker. Now it's Harris slamming into that defense, and Donovan Schmidt.
I can see why they call Raymond Harris the quiet storm. He just gradually moves the ball upfield. You know, he doesn't alarm anybody with flashy runs. He just bangs into people, knocks them back, makes the right cut, 2nd and 5.
19 carries for 92 yards for Harris, and a touchdown on the Bucks' first drive of the night. Galloway has their second touchdown on a 4th and 2 pass. It's 14-12, 12 minutes to go in Columbus. Here he comes again. Not much going there that time. Butler helping to close it up.
Excellent defense, good pursuit. They can all run, as you've said many times, Brent. But Andy Mason was right where he belonged to in that defense. And there comes Butler, Hillary Butler rallying over there, and Steve Springstead. Mason doing what he's supposed to do. Turn it back in so he can get some help.
3rd and 3, Dick. And Butler by no day checks in. You told me that when 33 comes in, they've usually got something special on for him.
Well, he's a little better breakaway type runner.
Was that Marco Farr came across, made contact, first down, Bucks.
A little too intense.
Defense, offsides, 5 yards, first down.
See DeMarco in that defensive left tackle position here. You'll see him jump. Oh, there he goes. See, he's going on the quarterback's command. Good, sharp command by Bobby Hoying that drew him offside. If you're that close to the ball, you've got to concentrate on it.
Cothran back in at fullback.
They're coming after him. Oh, nice.
Benote springs into the hole with that speed. Benote in a foot race for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
Outstanding block at the point of attack. Watch the fullback as he leads through. Boom, right there. Look at that block. Open a big hole. Now innate running ability. Good speed, good blocks downfield. Good innate speed, good burst.
The quickest of their tailbacks explodes 49 yards for Ohio State. And it's Williams. Pulled that one a bit, but still good. And it's 21-12. And now you've really got to second guess that 3rd down call by the Huskies. It's uphill from here on in for Washington.
Engineering. And cars that are easy to own now. Which one should be your new car? All of the above. Chevy Lumina Euro Sedan. Test drive a Chevy Lumina Euro today at your neighborhood Chevrolet dealer.
Butler Benote, 49 yards. And Big Daddy is back. Minutes to go. Hoffman. Down at the 37-yard line. Walton wraps him up along with Gwynn. Another look at the 6.
When you're in the I formation, if you don't have a fullback, you don't run the I formation. Now watch Cothran right here as he goes in on Hillary Butler. Now the offensive lineman did a nice job as well on this play, but the key to it, see, look, watch this block right here. Boom, the holder right there. Beautiful tackle. technique, hips down, shoulder pads, head up. Then he gets blocks downfield. He get a block right there. Nice clean up block. Cuts up. Now he uses that innate speed.
Well, it's interesting. Both teams with 264 yards of total offense, but the Bucks with 2 big plays. Now it's Eward trying to rally Washington, and it was almost intercepted by Styles.
Alonzo Styles, sophomore inside linebacker from Farrell, Pennsylvania. He read it, moved over. The only thing he didn't do was make the play.
Fresno State coming back against Oregon State. Coach Sweeney trying to get it back after that disappointment down in the Southwest last week. A lot of folks think Fresno State can wind up being one of the better teams in the country this year. Wisconsin gets the lead on SMU, and here's Eward. Gets it into Shelley's hands, and Shelley's a slippery customer after he makes the catch. Also,
he ducked. Craig Powell, number 84, was coming over there. Craig Powell might very well be the fastest linebacker in college football. He would run 100-meter sprints with Smith, the fine running back from here, Robert Smith, the year ago, and Smith would beat him by like 6 inches, Brent. And you know, Smith was a sprinter in the track team. This guy can fly.
Well, it's 3rd and 1 for Big Daddy and his buddies.
He can fly too.
Hang it down there. Eward's deflected away. What a night he's had.
Your quarterback set very short, and you just got to be able to stop a man like this with more than one person. You'll see what I'm talking about. Here he is, and he gets penetration there inside Andy Peterson, number 60. Sees no help inside. He just knocks him back. Now he's getting a little help from Neville, 52. Too much penetration, too much power.
He's a destroyer.
He has risen to the occasion.
Oh, mercy.
He is another young Reggie White.
Now Richard Thomas had set up there, and is that Big Daddy who used up a timeout there?
Great story on this young man. They weren't recruiting him, Brent. He was 355-pound offensive tackle in high school. His grades weren't very good. They didn't think he would pass the SAT, so they didn't recruit him. All of a sudden, late spring, they call him up. He calls up. Wilkins says, Coach, I passed my SATs. Do you have a scholarship yet? Yeah, we'll look and see. They bring him here. He wants to play defense. They tell him, you can't play defense at 355. He's a freshman. You get down under 300 pounds and you move to defense. So they redshirt him his freshman year. From his freshman year to spring, he loses 55 pounds, and here he is playing defense. And needless to say, he's playing it pretty well.
I'd say. Well, we've had 2 great defensive linemen in this game. DeMarco Farr. John Wardell. Both the punters have been busy. And there's Galloway back deep.
There's a time right there where Galloway is right now, is you take no chances fielding the ball. If it's clean, if it's an easy field, do it. Otherwise, be very, very careful.
Galloway at the 16, and the boot comes down on the defender who stepped right in his way after the fair catch signal. That was Richard Thomas.
Almost hit him. Great poise to maintain concentration and catch that ball. You've got to give him a little distance there when he gets that hand up. You'll see what I'm talking about right now. He had raised his hand, showed the fair catch signal. Look at the good concentration. He gets his body to the ball this time like he didn't the one time he fumbled it. Oh, that's close. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that call.
Little chintzy, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little chintzy. Can't blame the kid for sprinting down there and trying hard. He avoided him, but from up here, it looked like he got closer. Once we saw the replay, he wasn't very close.
Bobby Hoyne and the Buckeyes leading 21-12 inside of 10, 4th quarter here in Columbus. And they come back with Benode, who ran 49 yards for a touchdown, and there's a flag down. DeMarco Farr over there making the stop.
You know, I really believe in what they're doing right now. They have a running back that makes a big play. His pulse rate's up, his confidence up. He's on the sideline. He wants to run the ball. And more often than not, that's when the running back really runs well. Let him run more than one time.
Well, 2 of the big 3. Well, at least Penn State got through in the Big Ten. Michigan beaten today by Notre Dame, and here Ohio State ahead of Washington 21-12. And a look down on 94,000 here in Columbus. What a night this has been. Beautiful weather. John Cooper with a new quarterback. Bobby Hoyne, he's out of St. Henry, Ohio. That's the same high school that produced Jim Lachey, the great offensive lineman who's banged up, I guess, with the Washington Redskins. So the defense was offside in that situation. Hoyne, hands now to Benote, and Benote is slammed into by Springstead.
Excellent job by Donovan Schmidt, the defensive end that time. He just took the tight end, Cedric Saunders, and pushed him back into the backfield and then forced him to cut back. And fortunately then, the pursuit came in and made the play. But good play by Donovan Schmidt. There's Donovan Schmidt. Talked to him last night. He's thinking about going to law school.
2nd and 5. And they pound away with Benote. The umpire took a heck of a shot. Umpire got run over on that play.
You know, Brent, they may as well just stay with that type of running, direct point of attack running, leading with the isolation fullback, isolating on that linebacker one-on-one, because so far he is winning the battle. The fullback's winning it.
Now I want you to watch Ed Manning. Here's the umpire in this situation. Here comes the isolation, and he's the one they're isolating on.
Oh, down he goes.
And the ump, he hopes they change that play a little bit.
Well, they're staying in 2 tight ends, and that makes them balance up that defense just a little bit.
There's Benote. He's getting the calls, and DeMarco got a hand on him. That's how strong he is. Reaches in with a hand on a tailback like that, and he can bring him down.
Combine that with great quickness. I mean, he just jumped outside on that block, knew where it was going, reached with that strength, and pulled him down. Excellent defensive play.
Dick Vermeil doesn't think you can play in the NFL, but I do.
Don't pin me down on that. I just said size-wise, it's going to be tough.
There's the total yards. Dead even, but the big plays belong to the Buckeyes tonight. Lambright eyeing that clock. 7:40 to go. 21-12. He's on the short end. Benote has replaced Harris. Pulls away from Mason and gains an extra yard.
Frank Falk, who coaches the running backs here at Ohio State, has got to be really proud of this guy. He's the 3rd running back.
Next week, we go to Iowa City. We'll see the Huskies as Penn State makes its first road trip in the Big Ten. Looking forward to seeing Joe Pa. There's the other games on, and a reminder, call your cable operator if you want to see a game that's not being carried by your local ABC station. Better yet, get a couple of sets, turn on a couple of them. Watch everybody.
He's checking off, Brent.
Here it's 3rd and 2 on the checkoff. And first down.
Good effort by Butler. See, he moved the play, I think, from the left side to the right side that time, seeing a better bubble to attack. Not a great big guy at 5'11", 190, but great speed. A member of Ohio State's 4-time 100-meter relay team. Finished 2nd in the 55-meter indoor sprints in the Big Ten. So he can fly.
Now Hoyne taking his time as he brings the offense up. He'll look at that 25-second clock as it ticks off. Brings the game clock down with it on the count. Eating up precious seconds. Pounding away with Benote. Benote bucks another one, and he's down at the Husky 39-yard line.
Offensive lineman Dave Minot did an awfully nice job of pulling here and getting to the point of attack. Now follow Big Dave. He pulls here and cleans up once, and they run up underneath it. Excellent job by Dave. Now watch his block. Boom! Boom, right there. See what he did? He actually logged him to the inside. Nice straight arm right there. Butler is gaining confidence as he runs.
Dave Mono has proclaimed himself a Heisman Trophy candidate, and I promised him
pretty
if he'd
good
get
holder
out in front and get the job done, we'd push his candidacy tonight. Raymond Harris now checks into the game. 7 consecutive carries for Benotti, who exploded for the long touchdown. Now they come in with a fresh runner in Raymond Harris, who's had a nice rest, and Benotti gets a much-deserved rest over there on the sideline. Job well done by that young man.
The offensive line size of Ohio State, I think, is wearing down the front. Plus, the linebackers continually having to take on the 235-pound fullback and the 260-pound fullback. They're wearing down.
Speaking of great offensive linemen in the Big Ten, I saw Dan Deerdorf in an ad on TV today. He's been to the barbershop, hasn't he?
Yeah, and selling potato chips at the same time.
5:50 to go, 21-12. Bucks over the Huskies. Harris. Mason.
See, they've got to hold stronger at the point of attack there, Brent.
A look down at the big house. It's been a beautiful night. Great setting here. Great for this city to see the Buckeyes coming back. This is a tough spot for this Husky coaching staff. I've thought all along that once you say you're going to run the table and you're going to go unbeaten and you put all that pressure on every game, that when you lose, you better be able to regain your football team and put them back on track.
Well, you asked the coaches that last night, Brent, and I thought they gave you a pretty good response. They said they'd rally, come back, and they'd play just as hard the next week.
You bet. It's been a quality program. But they'll have to rededicate themselves if they can't come back in this one. And now, Eddie George, the sophomore runner, he's built a little bit like Smith, who was here and went to the Vikings. He's 6'3", 227. They like him, too. They are 4 deep at this tailback spot.
He ran awfully well last week, Brent, and watching him play against Rice. And he has that speed, too. He's the state low and high hurdle champion from Pennsylvania. He actually went to Fort Union Military Academy in Virginia, but they have more speed all through this football team.
Now, what would you do here at 4th and 4? The ball is at the Huskies, 33. You're up 21-12 and 3:40.
Well, if you punted it in this situation here, and you have more than a 7-point lead, I'd go ahead and run it like they're going to, Brent.
Owen's going to throw for it over the middle. Wants the tight end. Bobble incomplete. A little exciting down there in the end zone, wasn't it, folks?
I'll tell you, they're letting it all hang out. They're letting it all hang out. I guarantee, if I'd have thrown the ball, I guarantee you I wouldn't have thrown that one.
I mean, he threw for a touchdown earlier on 4th and 2.
Yeah. See, they run that 4th down play. They're going to come in there with a strong fullback fake, then lay it up to the tight end one-on-one situation. Can't get it to him. Good coverage.
That was Russell Harrison. We'll be back.
Choosing your first.
3:27, and the Washington Huskies trailing here 21-12. Damon Huard, the fine young quarterback. Hoffman's his runner, and Huard hit, and down he goes. Big Daddy one more time. And hey, Big Daddy, how do you know when they're upset down there?
We started, banging their heads, getting all mad at each other, and quarterbacks fussing at them, and I'm sitting there laughing.
He's chuckling right now, folks. But Huard comes right back at him, and that was Crowley running the sideline pattern, stopping the clock at the 2:56 mark.
And right now they have Patrick Kesey, a sophomore 300-pound offensive lineman, trying to block him, and he was trying to block him that time when he took him right back to the quarterback. That's a rude awakening for a sophomore offensive lineman when you open your eyes and find that guy coming at you.
The Bucks will try to keep that clock running now as best they can. 2:56 to go. They're up 21-12.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him put both Napoleon and Bino into the ball game at the same time, Brent, in a two-back set in a catch-up offense.
They send the backs out as receivers, and the pass is deflected.
And both of them are in there right now. See, now anytime you lay the ball off to a running back, either one of them, you got a chance to break a play, make somebody miss, get upfield, and get it out of bounds. Huskies have all 3 timeouts left.
That was Brown. Did the job for him.
They need a lot of things to happen in their favor right now.
This would be some night here in Columbus.
We better not go back to that pizza place, I'll tell you that.
So it's 4th down, 6 yards the Huskies need. This will be it. Incomplete. Ohio State ball, 2:47. Bucks lead, 21-12.
This Husky team is just so much stronger. That off-season effort, you know, in the summer. I mean, the Buckeye team, excuse me, Greg, so much stronger. You know, they're dominating that line of scrimmage. They've done it all through the 4 quarters.
Dick, you know, a man who's been awfully good to us through the years, Don James. I know you and I are going to miss him like a whole lot of folks around college football. He's a terrific man.
Well, I got to meet Don as a coach because I coached against him when I was at UCLA, and I recruited against him. Really a fine football coach and a fine person, and I'm just sorry it had to end that way, but Huskies lost a coach. Carol, his wife, gained a husband.
We'll be back. Here was a running back at this stadium. Let's go to Julie Moran.
You got that right, Brent. Only man to ever start in 4 consecutive Rose Bowls, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. You know something about the glory days of Ohio football. What are the chances for this team to get back to the Rose Bowl?
Well, I think this team has a great opportunity to get back to the Rose Bowl. They practice hard. They came into camp in shape, playing good, strong football, and they've really played good, strong football tonight. So they're showing that they're capable of doing that.
Did Pete Johnson block for you like the blocking we're seeing tonight?
He sure did. He did a great job. Now he's trying to block for me playing golf even.
What would Coach Hayes have thought about a night game? He liked to kick it off at 12:30.
Well, he probably wouldn't have been too particular about a night game, but if we had to play it, he would do it. We did play a one-night game in 1975 against UCLA, so it did happen.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Archie. Back up to you, Brent.
Yeah, and they won, too, as I was coaching.
Thanks, Julie. Well, we want to thank Steve Snap and the Buckeye staff for all they have done for us. We love to come in here to Columbus, just like we enjoy going out to Seattle. Jim Davies and his staff, they helped us out. Coaches, both teams. Coming down to the 2-minute warning now. Washington with its timeouts left, if they can get the ball back. Here's that fresh runner, Eddie George, getting the call here inside of 2 minutes.
They just haven't been able to. The Husky defense hasn't been able to penetrate the offensive line like they normally do. And you have to give credit to the offensive line of the Buckeyes and their line coach. He's done a great job.
Gain of 6, ball on the 30.
So Cooper
Washington
going to bring him over here to the sideline and huddle up with him. And let me announce the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. A lot of stars for Ohio State, but I'll tell you, folks, let's honor the 2 defensive linemen tonight. For the Washington Huskies, DeMarco Farr, number 75. And for the Buckeyes, big Dan Wilkinson. Chevrolet donates $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Great night for those 2 and for the entire Ohio State team as of right now with 1:46 to go. Bucks lead it 21-12. It's typical of Columbus. This game will be 5 minutes old and they'll say, no, we're going to the Rose Bowl.
Look at Ohio State's yards rushing. Look at this 4th quarter. Where are you down with those great big guys? And that big Corey Stringer, the right tackle at 6'6", 310, and Alan Klein, the left tackle at 285 at 6'6". They just wear you out. I'll tell you, the guards have done a good job of pulling in there and doing a good job. Jack Thrush has done a nice job at the center, and Coach Cooper did a great job of preparing these guys.
First down at the 140 mark. This stadium coming alive, as it has been all night long. What a great stadium setting we've had here tonight. These fans have been fabulous.
Coming here to play is just as tough as going to Seattle to play. The atmospheres are the same. It's tough to win in those two stadiums when you come in. Bobby Hoying out. That's not Bobby Hoying. That's it.
Well, I know where you and I are going. As soon as it's over, we're going out to see the Emmett House Psychic and see who she likes Monday night.
I know it. We've talked to her 3 times. She's 3 for 3. Waverly, here we come.
Where was she when I had to put up with Jimmy the Greek all those years?
You know, it's amazing. She doesn't know anything about football.
That's the best kind. It's those people who think they know. That's when you get in trouble with this business. 140, 21-12.
Coach Cooper right there, and Coach Mike Stock, the receiver coach with a headset. Coach Joe Hollis, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach right there. Nice job of preparing his football team to play.
George to the 17-yard line.
George is only a sophomore, Brent. You know, in coming in here the other day and visiting with the coaches, there was an air of confidence that existed amongst the staff that I haven't seen here before, and now I know why.
I could feel it in the whole city.
Right.
I told you right away, I thought that the fans were behind this team. They thought Cooper had put together a good situation. The only question was Bobby Hoying, and he's held up here tonight.
Well, with the running game like that, that takes a lot of pressure off you.
The seconds down on a huge victory for the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Hey, our guys down the truck did a good job too, huh? Kim Belton, our producer. Bill Webb was the director. Nice going, man.
Big win for Coach John Cooper. So much pressure on him. Every coach is always compared to Coach Woody, and there was only one of those guys. They quit making those guys a long time ago.
We just lost our spotter, Jimmy Tubbs. He's celebrating the Yankee win.
Hey, the Psychic made a prediction on that too, didn't he?
She liked Toronto.
She liked Toronto.
And he doesn't like the Psychic anymore. And you made the best move of the night, not going to that fight.
Yeah, I did.
That majority draw.
Yeah.
How about the Atlanta Braves? 3-1.
You know when I said that was Bobby Young? That's his brother, the young freshman there. That's why I thought it was. I mean, they look so much alike. It was just a different number. Some dejected Huskies. They haven't lost many football games in their career, but they've always come back strong when they have.
Well, they poured a lot emotionally into that Stanford game, didn't they? Because of Walsh's comments. Might have spent a little bit, then they had to come on the road, and they faced a buzzsaw in here tonight. You have to be impressed with this Ohio State defensive effort, led by Big Daddy. I haven't seen Kaufman bottled up like that in a long time. They made him work for every yard tonight.
He came in here with a career rushing average of 7.1 yards, and I'll bet it's 2.0 tonight.
He carries 18 times for 51 yards.
So that's what I'm talking about. One of 9 division teams do not have a losing season. The Washington Huskies and Don James. And they won't have a losing season this year either.
Big one for the Bucks. 21-12. John Cooper gets a ride. A ride for Julie Moran and Dick Vermeil. I'm Brett Musburger. So long, everybody, as the Buckeyes beat Washington 21-12.
football on ABC Sports has been brought to you by the heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. And by the 25th Anniversary Diamond for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage. Monday night on ABC Sports, NFL MVP Steve Young leads the San Francisco 49ers into the Wild Dog Pound in Cleveland to battle Bernie Kosar and the Browns. Live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.